Has anyone watched Heartstopper on Netflix? Hi there! You just heard me talking about Netflix there through the intro, apparently. If you have seen Heartstopper, let me know what you thought about it. Anyway, welcome back. It is time for Softer Side of Life, our weekly destination needlecraft show, which is brilliant. Now, do you want some big news?
Yes.
Do you want some good news?
Yes.
Some great news?
Yes.
Some brilliant news, in
Yes.
fact. We have managed to get a bit more, well, we've actually got a substantial amount of extra stock of this item just here. It did sell out before you even saw it in the earlier Wake Up Call show, and it is these brand new items from Sanntangle, being, of course, the dragonflies. You're going to get the workbook and the stencils in here, and also the hearts as well. They're coming together for you in that bundle there too, which is excellent. So if you want to go for these, if you missed out on it, then you can, of course, you can grab it right now. I'll tell you what that was in a minute. $36.99 or $53.48. $29.59, $42.78 if you are a platinum member. Of the new stock we've loaded though, 30% has gone already. If you missed it, now's your time. It went a bit quiet in my ear, and sometimes if I just do a little booty pop to the side, it brings the talk back in. So I didn't realise you were coming back as I did that. But
do you know,
anyway,
everyone's going to be watching you
we
now
are.
for the little bang,
We
bang,
are
bang, bang.
tearing down that fourth wall, aren't we, in this show today? Becky is here. Hi, Becky.
Hi, how are you?
I'm really good.
Bow, 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 bow.
How are you?
Very well. So we've got a launch of the Lynne Goldsworthy templates, acrylic templates. We've got 3 different sets for you. Each one comes with the instructions to make 3 different projects. So I'm going to be taking you through those today. So really great for people that want to use a rotary cutter to cut round templates. Perhaps you don't have a die cutting machine and you don't need one, or you want to have the flexibility and the ability to sort of cut round a template, then these are definitely the templates for you.
Amazing. Make sure you are stocking up on those. We'll take you through those in more detail in a few minutes. Right. I want to take you to this item though, the lucky dips. Now these are amazing because for every one of these you put in your basket, you'll get an item, which is amazing. It's a lot of fabrics. There's some tools in there as well. I'm going to show you some of the fabrics that you could be receiving. Some glorious half-metre pieces here, a whole vast array. The thing is, you know what? With things like fabrics, if you are getting multiples, it really is no biggie because you're going to be able to use them in lots of different projects. It's a really great way of stocking up. For each item you pop into your basket, you will receive an item. Fabrics, there are some tools in there as well. If you order more than 2, you might get some duplicates, but I don't think that's a bad thing, especially when you are looking at glorious fabrics. Now, talking of glorious fabrics, we need to bring you the fabric of the week. The
Fabric of the week.
Absolutely, and that this week is the So Boho items that we've got for you. Half-metre pieces we're going to be looking at first. Remember as well, if you are ordering multiples of these, I always want to do that thing where you disappear. If you are ordering multiples, I'm in a funny mood still. If you want to order multiples of these, we will cut them in larger pieces for you up to 8 metres, which is really cool. So if you are thinking about doing some larger projects, you've got the option there to allow you to do that. That one there is the So Boho that you've just seen. We also have the Aqua available for you. Really lovely, bright pop of colour and some beautiful florals. Talking of florals, Fab Florals is available. It's got a very sort of hippie vintage feel to that one.
Magic Roundabout. That's what that reminds me of. If you ever watched that programme, it's that all those sort of deep, bright oranges and that sort of pop of those cerise and aqua colours. Beautiful.
Really gorgeous. We also then have this one here, which is your Aqua Ferns. We have also got this one, the Ditsy Dots in the cerise, and we've got it in the marigold for you as well. Right, maybe you'd like to go for all of those, but you'd like a fat quarter of each, then we've got you covered there as well. It's the fat quarter bundle that you can see just here, in it comes. And fat quarters are great as well. Lots of different projects out there that you can complete with your fat quarters, $12.79 or $12.76. Or maybe you want to go for the strip roll. Again, I think fat quarters and strip rolls are brilliant because they are already cut to size for you. And there's so many projects out there that you can complete using these. It means that you haven't got to worry about cutting or anything, Becky, doesn't it?
And quick projects, because often if you're beginning to start sewing and you don't want to spend loads of time trying to work out what you're going to be able to do, as you say, there's loads of projects available and they're quite quick because you've got everything sort of pre-cut. You can make a really lovely quilt just by sewing all of those strips together into a long line and then sort of cutting them in different angles and putting them together. So, you know, really simple and easy to do. It's definitely worth having.
Absolutely, they are. The other one that we've got for you as well is the half meters here too. And if you loved all of the designs I showed you, these are them bundled together as half meters, and you get a cheeky discount there as well. You get a 20% discount, which is brilliant, and it's giving you half meters of all of them. So that might be a great way to go. £28.79 or £28.76. Oh, I love these. I must admit, this is probably my favourite item in the whole show because I just love a pom-pom. I really, really do. And you're getting everything you need in here, which is brilliant, because you've got the 2 lobster key rings, 4 different colours of yarn, the pom-pom tool, the tassel tool, the needle, and also the step-by-step instructions. So a great little crafty gift to make up for someone, but something that even, I'd say everyone could have a go at, wouldn't you, Becky?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very simple. And using these little plastic pieces that we're going to be making the pom-poms around, I remember making them as a child just out of a piece of cardboard that was cut, or 2 pieces of cardboard, and wrapping it around. You can make these in next to no time. You can double or triple up the wool that you're using, so you can make them really, really quickly. But they're great for little embellishments. So whilst we've got them on a keychain, I'm actually going to be using them for decorating the corners of a cushion that I'm going to make today.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous. I love them. They're really, really good fun. A lot of you have been multi-ordering on those. £5.59 and £7.16 if you want to get a hold of that. But we are going to look firstly at this. It is our brand new launch. I do need to let you know it is. It's like a VIP preview event. That's how I like to think of it, because it is on delayed dispatch. It will be dispatched to you with anything else in your order on the 27th of May, which is awesome. These are excellent. Some really lovely quality templates. They are really good quality acrylic templates, and you're getting 3 different designs in here. So you're going to get the Kaleidoscope Star, the Wheel of Mystery, and the Hunter's Star, and each one of those will make 3 different projects for you. You're absolutely going to take them off into other projects and really expand on that. But if it's a full tutorial you're after, you've got 9 projects there included, which is amazing. If you've got questions about anything in this show, you can get in touch with me. It's super easy. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you're over on YouTube. Mariah says, hello all from Hamburg, New York. Got my kickboxing out of the way. I'm ready for some softer side. Sounds like you might need to, you know, de-stress with a bit of soft crafting. What was that, Joe, about Netflix? I was asking if anyone had seen Heartstopper. Not the audience, you guys at home, our crafty friends. I was asking people in the studio. I just didn't realise you could hear me, so I am sorry for that. But if you have seen it, let me know, because I'd like to start watching it this evening. I might make Becky watch it with me. Rosalind saying hi from Maryland. Monica says, good morning, Joe. Shake it, Joe. Thank you. There you are. Monica Gilmore says hi as well. And Gilmore also say how much they love the boho prints. They are very vibrant. They are very vibrant indeed. Right, Becky Sworn, where would you like to start things off for this softer side?
Well, I thought I'd show you a few of the samples that we've had made up using these templates. So you can see the kind of thing that you're going to be able to make. So this one is the Kaleidoscope Star. So this is a wall hanging here.
That's beautiful.
Now, this is very simple to make. Now, this is the thing, when you start quilting, if you've never quilted before, if you've not sewn before, when you look at these amazing patterns, these amazing quilts, you think, my goodness, I don't know where I'm going to be able to start. But this is how, you know, this is how one of the things that you can make. These are actually the details of this particular project are in that Kaleidoscope Star pack. So you can make this wall hanging. You can also make this cushion. So this is using exactly the same pattern, but another kind of design here. And just by using, we've just used plain fabrics throughout all of these samples, but you can really see the effect that you'll get with these templates. Now, these are templates, they are not dies, so these are to be used with a rotary cutter, but they're quite a thick acrylic, they're quite sort of sturdy, so they're not going to be sort of dangerous for you to use with your rotary cutter. Sometimes you can buy very thin acrylic templates, and there's not a lot of difference in the height where your sort of hand is and where the fabric is. These are quite thick. These are the same thickness as you would have in one of your rulers, like your quilting rulers.
Awesome.
So it's exactly the same kind of format. So this is the Kaleidoscope Star. Then I will get the next one out for you. So the next one is the Wheel of Mystery.
Oh, how mysterious.
It is mysterious. So this is a table runner that we've had done. So this looks really effective. If I hold it up like so, you can probably see a bit better, just with those lots of white in there and those block colours. But it almost looks like you've got curves in there, you know, because of the way it's been produced. It almost looks like you've got curves, but they're not. They're all straight lines in there, so easy to sew, and you'll get the templates for this in the pack as well. So that is a Wheel of Mystery. And then the final one is the Hunter Star. Just get that out. So I'm getting a huge quilt out this time, so you can see the full extent of this. So this is just folded in half, but I wanted you to be able to see that. So that is a really kind of traditional,
isn't it?
yeah, really, really pretty, very kind of traditional type of quilting that you've got here, type of quilt you've been making up. So if you watch the Wake Up call show, this is the block that I made. So you start with this, you work on this kind of shape here, but as you put them all together, you get these stars or these flowers that sort of emerge in the pattern. So really effective as well.
Absolutely
so I will show you what they look like. Just put those underneath.
I just wanted to say, Becky, sorry, just before you get into this demonstration, a lot of the Sanntangle items are really low in stock. In fact, most things are well over half gone. Book 5 bundle, the starter kit, 70% gone there. The dragonflies are going very quickly. The Create Art Project 1 is on the verge of selling out as well. We will be having a full hour of Sanntangle, even if everything sells out during our Soft Side Life show. But what I would definitely urge you to do is not wait until that show comes up, because we will have substantially less options for you when we get to Sanntangle at 4 p.m. Here in the UK, 11 a.m. East Coast, than we do have now. So just bearing in mind, I wouldn't want you to think you're going to get something and then we get to the show and it has already gone, which is becoming a reality very, very quickly. Back to you, Becky. Sorry about that.
That's all right. So we're going to be using the Kaleidoscope Star here. So this is how you'll receive your package. So they all come in these little cardboard packs here, and you'll get inside the instruction manual, and you'll also get the templates. Now the templates are all acrylic. Oh, that one's stuck at the bottom. And what I've actually done here is take them off here. You can see what they look like. So they're completely clear. Now you've got some that I've done here that I've actually sprayed with some of our spray. So that is this one, which is our stick and spray. So this is the spray that we have for making things, no, that's not the right one. Hold on a minute. Wrong one. This is the one I wanted. Stick and stay.
Awesome.
So this is the one that you...
Spray and stay.
Sorry, spray and stay. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? So this is what you spray onto things that you don't want to slip. So it's really good for your rulers, but it's particularly good for these acrylic templates, because if I just put the template on top of my fabric, you can see it moves quite easily. Now this one I've already sprayed with some of that spray, and it doesn't move. So it's particularly good if you're going to be cutting things like this, or if you're going to be cutting big pieces of fabric and you're using your long ruler, you can spray that on there. It's also really good if you've got a work surface that's a little bit slippery and your boards are moving on it, you can put a few sprays underneath. But obviously if you're using a very highly polished table that it's on, obviously be a little bit careful. Now this doesn't wash off, it will come off over time, but actually what I did with this one is, when I was using it, I got lots of little bits of fluff and all sorts of things on it. So I gave it a bit of a wash with some ordinary soap. It came off all nice and clean, but I don't lose any of that sort of grippiness that we've got here. Now you're still able to see everything through these templates, despite the fact that I've used some of this spray on there. So it's definitely worth popping in your basket if you're going to be using things like these little templates. And we've also got those mini patchwork templates that we've had before, and they're really good for that as well. So that's definitely worth having. Now, what I'm going to do is I've already pre-cut some of my fabric anyway. But if I show you the little booklet we've got here, we give you on the introduction about how you need to cut the fabric, and we recommend that you only cut 2 layers of fabric when you're using these templates. So obviously if you're used to using our Gemini, you'll know that we sort of say cutting sort of 6, maybe 8 layers of fabric is an easy thing for you to do. We only recommend 2 layers of fabric for this, and the reason for that is because the more fabric you've got, the more layers of fabric, the harder it is for you to use that rotary cutter to cut around the edge and make sure it's all super accurate. And obviously with patchwork, you want to make sure that your dimensions are all correct, so everything sews up perfectly.
What's the danger if it's not all cut accurately then, Becky?
You end up being slightly out of kilter. So where you've got your points meeting, for example, you might have sort of triangles or diamonds. If you're slightly out and you're still using your 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, nothing will quite match. So you want, if you look at those samples that we've had the design team make, they're immaculate, they're absolutely beautiful, they're completely spot on. And if you're taking the time to sort of put together a patchwork, you want to make sure that the pieces that you're starting to sew together are all nice and correct. You don't want to be even a millimetre out, you want to try and keep them as accurate as possible. So you can certainly cut 2 at a time, but we don't really recommend that you cut any more layers at one time with your rotary cutter. We also talk about here how you cut the fabric. So we talk about cutting across the grain line. So the grain line is how the fabric goes up and down this kind of way. If you're talking about something on a bias cut, it goes at an angle. So you can see here where we've got this diamond shape, it's important that you keep the lines going straight up where you've got these 2 edges on this diamond. So you might want to turn the diamond shape so it's on its point and cut it, but we're recommending that you turn it this way. And this is all to do with making sure that your fabric stays nice and straight when you're cutting it and you don't have any stretch in the wrong place. So we've got all those details, and then we've got the same information for all of these templates, same little kind of booklet in there, so definitely keep those all together. Now as you work your way through the booklet, it will start off with creating a block, and then it will go on to all the various projects you can make with this. Now this pack is slightly different to the other ones because we've got 5 templates here, and the other ones only have 4. So where we have here, for example, making a block, we're only using template A, B and E, so we're not using a C and D for this particular thing, but we are using that for the quilt here. Now each of the templates have the details of the collection they're related to, and also are numbered, named with the letter that it relates to. So we've made it nice and simple. So if you do buy, you do have all the sets together and you're not gifted any of them to somebody else, you might be a bit concerned you might lose track of what you've got and work out where things go together. You'll be able to easily see because we've got the details of which templates they're all related to. So we're going to start off by cutting a few bits and pieces.
Okie doke.
So we're going to use this one here. So this is the one with the spray on the rear of it. So you can see it's not moving, whereas if I put this one down, not with that sticky piece there, you can see that moves very, very easily. Now, ideally, if you've got a rotating quilting mat, this is the time to use it. But I don't have one of those here. I've just got 2 mats on top of each other. So I've got a small mat here, which I'm going to use to rotate, and I've got a larger mat on the top here. And that works just as well. So I'm just going to line up just make sure I've got it right the right way. So if I look back on my part here, it says that my grain line should be going straight up and down, well, for this particular shape of the triangle. So I'm just going to give this a check. I'm going to pull it this way, and I'm going to pull it this way, and I know that my grain line is going that way because I'd had very little stretch on that space here. So I'll pop my piece of fabric down, my template down at the bottom, and then I'll use my rotary cutter. And I'm just going to start before the template, and then I'm just going to turn everything around like so.
Very, very busy on these items. Also, very busy on Sanntangle. We've had another sellout to tell you about. The Create Art project from Sanntangle has sold out and gone. Lots of the other items all going the same way as well. So I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if you want any of the Sanntangle stuff, you need to be shopping immediately, would be my suggestion. Any questions you've got about these, then you can get in touch with me, Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafting Companion over on YouTube. Is there video tutorials for these, Becky? Do we do video tutorials?
No,
for
there
these
aren't
ones?
any video tutorials for this. But it's quite simple to do. But if anyone gets into any problems, you can always contact me through my Facebook page, my Crafters Companion Facebook page, and I'm very happy to sort of help people through it if they get confused. But it's quite simple in putting it together. It's just slightly different to the way that you would have done them if you've been using dies. It's a little bit slower, as you'd expect, because you're hand cutting them, but lots of people really enjoy that. And actually, if you don't have a die cutting machine, or if you want to do a bit of sewing but you don't have the space for a die cutting machine, these are a really, really great option for you to have. So you can see those two have cut out perfectly. Now I've already pre-cut some bits and pieces, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to build.
But of course you will be able to watch this show back at any point. So if you're ordering these now, make a note of the time and the date of the show, and then over on our website you'll be able to come back and find the show along with any of our other previous shows as well. They are all there for you over on the website, so you will be able to come back and get familiar with them again, because sometimes it's just seeing it demonstrated again, isn't it? Once you've got it at home and you've got your hands on the product and you have an idea then of how you want to use it.
Absolutely. I think one of those key things is you buy something and I'm just the same as everybody else. I watch a show and I think, oh, I'm going to have that. And by the time it arrives, or by the time you get the opportunity to actually make something with it, you've forgotten. You've forgotten what it was, so it's great to be able to watch everything back. So I've cut here a diamond and I've got 2 triangles here. So I'm going to place those right sides together. So these are going to go like so. So I'm going to put them right sides together. Well, they're plain fabrics anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to line that up here. And I'm going to just sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance down here.
Mum4Boy says, hello everyone, sorry I'm late. I love softer side. Let's sew some shapes.
Aww.
Let's sew some shapes.
Yeah.
Not throw some shapes.
No, sew some.
That's a bit different. Sew some shapes. We could throw some shapes and sew some shapes at the same time.
We could. And you've already done that.
You missed me doing my brilliant dancing. So
we need a little sound effect to go with that, don't we?
Sorry?
We need a little sound effect to go with that.
We do, yeah. I'm sure Charlotte can grab us one.
Yeah.
No, that's a no, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to sew down here as well. So we've got doing those 2 triangles along that diamond shape.
Mum4Boy says, that boho fabric is gorgeous. I've been hoarding the last remains of my previous order, so it's now on sale. And then a face. Absolutely, get it now whilst it is your... Get it now whilst it's your...
Fabric of the week.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. Thank you, Becky.
So I was concentrating there. It doesn't take much. So I've done this piece here, and I've also done another one here, and I've attached that large triangle to the top. So if you look at the instructions, these are the 2 pieces I've made, and then I added this triangle here. So I'm now going to sew these 2 pieces together. So just make sure I've got them around the right way. So I want that one there, and I want that one there. So again, right sides together. And we're just sewing along. So you can see where we have the little templates, we've actually cut the little dog ears off, the little edges that we wouldn't need. So normally, if you'd cut these with, without a template, you just sort of cut them by eye, or perhaps you used our shape creator, where you would have a triangle or a point, it would come to an exact point here. And then as you were stitching things together, you would be trimming those points off so you remove the bulk from your fabric, but you don't need to worry about that because we're using the templates. So we'll sew this one together down here.
What would you say is the most common mistake when you're doing this kind of project, Becky? Where do people tend to go wrong with this style of project?
I think my biggest problem was sewing an incorrect sized seam.
Okay.
I think is my major issue, because I would get distracted, or I might look at something, or not look at something else because that'd just be really dangerous, but you know, I might be listening to something.
Your
or
mind might wander, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I might be watching something on Netflix, like that program you were saying. And then you sort of get a little bit distracted, and then you're not sort of keeping to your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And it's quite key that, because we're making sure that everything matches, all your measurements are correct in that you're using, you know, you're cutting everything exactly. Making sure your 1/4 inch seam allowance is correct as well. Even if you're just doing, no, not a 1/4 inch, you're just still going over just a fraction on one of them, and then some of them you're a fraction less, then, you know, that small amount isn't going to notice immediately, but as you start putting your project together and each one of those little blocks, each one of those little sections is slightly off, eventually nothing's going to quite match up. And I think that's the thing that gets you quite despondent when you first start doing patchwork, because you want everything to work perfectly. You look at these amazing quilts that people make and you don't realise how much attention to detail is taken into doing those sorts of things. But yeah, I would have said that's probably your key thing there. Now I'm just going to match up these two pieces as well. So I've done 2 of those sort of diamonds with triangles together, and then I'm sewing 2 sets of those together to make a 4, and then that makes half of my front for my my little sort of pot holder that I'm going to do, or not pot holder, but you know, table mat kind of thing that I'm going to do. So again, I'm just matching up my edges and 1/4 inch seam allowance. Do you sew, Joe?
Learning to sew is something that I've been in the process of starting to do for about 3 years now.
Right.
Because actually, I don't know why. You know, when you see things and you think, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
I think sewing is one of those things. So if you'd like to give me some private lessons, maybe at the house after work, I'd be well up for that.
Yeah, the thing is, whenever any of us arrive back at the house, all of us are all so tired. We watch a bit of TV, don't we? We eat some cheese and crackers.
We usually do what we did last night, and we sit around and gossip for an hour and a half, and then we go to bed.
We did gossip quite a lot.
Yeah, we just gossip a lot, and then we go to bed.
Yeah.
I like to watch the 10 p.m. news, and if I don't watch the 10 o'clock news, I get a bit twitchy.
Oh, I didn't know.
But I didn't watch it last night because I went up to bed before 10 p.m. because that's how rock and roll I am these days.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I have to watch the 10 o'clock news every night usually.
We do. I don't tend to watch the news at night.
I just limit my news intake to once a day, so I'll either watch it in the morning, and then I'm done, or if I haven't seen it throughout the day, I'll then just watch the evening news bulletin, and then I go to bed. I'm a man of simple comforts.
If we do some sewing lessons, we need to get a sewing machine at the house. So we haven't got one at the house.
Yeah, that might be an issue.
Yeah, that would be quite difficult. We've got all other manner of crafty goodies there, but we don't have a sewing machine.
We've got a die cutting machine, haven't we? We've got you know, pens and ink pads and all those wonderful things. Yeah, we need to get a sewing machine there. I think it's happened.
I have to suggest
There's that little sort of big cupboard at the very top of the stairs. Maybe we could turn that into a little sewing room.
The sewing room.
What do you think? I think we could get away with that.
I'll suggest that later on. Yeah, we can see if we can
Someone
do that.
text Brent and ask him, see what he says.
He's there at the moment. We could get him to sort it all out for us. So we've got 2 halves. So we've got the 2 triangles, 2 diamonds with the triangles here that we've sewed together. We've sewed those together to make the half, and then we're just going to sew this whole piece together now.
Amazing. Any questions you've got, get them into me. You know how to do that. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube is where you need to go. Don't forget as well, we're kicking off. It's Friday. I like to think Friday is the start of the weekend, don't you, Becky? And of course we've got a whole weekend of fun planned for you as well, so we'll be back with that masterclass later. But then I haven't checked who I'm with tomorrow, you know. I better have a look, couldn't I? We Craig, myself and Craig all weekend. Oh, well, that's going to be fun. We have got Play Your Crafts Right, tomorrow, my first Play Your Crafts Right in ages. We've also got a craft along and a craft house as well tomorrow. And then Colour Me Happy Masterclass and Second Chance Sunday on that there Sunday. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
It's going to be a busy weekend.
It is, isn't
got
it?
a lot on. So we've done this. This is the main part of our block. Now what I'm going to do is I'm sort of following. That's the block that we've done here, but I'm sort of making, following this pattern here. So I've already pre-cut all these little triangles down here, and I'm just going to sew the last few together, and then that's going to make this kind of shape over here. So that's going to be the shape that I'm going to use for this sort of table mat. The way I thought of it was almost like it was a mat to put a vase of flowers on to protect your table.
What's your favourite flowers, Becky?
I really like peonies.
Oh, I've got some fresh peonies at home at the moment.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's my wedding anniversary, and you're the one with fresh flowers.
I bought them
How
myself.
does that work?
I bought them for myself.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
that's allowable.
Do you know you have to bash them, peonies?
No.
So if you buy them, so I bought them, there's a really lovely florist in Manchester, and they were very, very tight buds when I bought them, as in like they were totally closed, like tiny little balls. And the lady said if they don't open after a few days, you take them, you just gently bash them against the counter, and that helps them to open up. You just bash but gently. That's how you gently bash.
I would never think to do that.
Yeah, just give them a little tap, just a little tap on the kitchen counter, roll them over a little bit. It was definitely a bash.
Do you do the same things with chrysanthemums? Because they can be quite similar, can't they, in that they're very sort of
Chrysanthemums are those sort of white ones that are like quite bulbous, are they?
Well, there's loads of different ones, aren't there? There's like sort of spider chrysanthemums, which all sort of splay out.
Yes, I do.
But they often come with like a little cover around their heads, don't they? Like a little bonnet that they wear to protect them.
So
which
peonies,
the petals all together.
Peonies and lilies. Peonies are very expensive though. £12 for 5 stems.
That is expensive.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it?
And you said, I noticed last night you said to me you always have fresh flowers, which I think,
Always
I want to live in your house.
I can't not have fresh flowers at home.
I love that
So I have
idea.
3 vases of. I like to get a big bunch of them, and then I have lots of very small vases, as in slimline vases.
Yeah.
So I put stems all around the house. Every room has got fresh flowers in then.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. And then I'm like a sort of mad flower lady. Like I have to collect them all up, do a bit of trimming and snipping, change the water. That's like my little routine before I come back to work.
Oh.
They last about, the good quality ones from the very inexpensive supermarket.
Yeah.
Aldi is where I get my lilies from normally. A bunch will last about, because they're completely closed when you get them, you get about 2 to 3 weeks out of them. Yeah, and then what you do is, when you know they're coming towards the end, you get a second bunch then, so you have a bit of a crossover. So I'm always sort of mixing new ones in. And I like to go to the florist and buy some flowers that I haven't seen before, or unusual ones that I don't know. Maybe make a little arrangement, put some together. It brings me so much joy, it really does.
Oh, I love that.
Going home, changing the water, watering all the plants. Honestly, I just love it. Pottering about with a coffee, a bit of music on.
And what kind of lilies? Are they white lilies or those
I like
pink
white
ones?
lilies. I do like the stargazer ones as well, with the pink in them.
Yeah.
But my friend always says, because there's so many white lilies, says it always looks like a funeral parlour in my in my apartment, which I think is quite rude, to be honest.
That is very rude.
Yeah.
I do love lilies, and I like the smell of them as well.
Oh, I love the
gorgeous.
smell of them. Although I do take the stamens out immediately as soon as they open, because they get everywhere.
And I think they can be toxic to animals as well, can't they, lilies?
Yes.
So cats, I think, it can be quite
I
bad
really
for
don't
cats.
like cats. So,
No, I know.
Yeah.
There's a cat that lives next door to us in the house, and you didn't like it.
I had a very visceral reaction, let's say.
I'd been chatting to it, but it didn't want to come in after. Well, it wasn't allowed.
I am highly allergic to cats as well.
Oh, are
in
you?
my defence,
Okay.
Yes.
That's allowable. Then I'll stop from chatting.
Yeah,
to
stop
the cat.
enticing it with tins of tuna, please.
So I've sewn these together. So we've got these little triangles at the top, and then we've got little one here at a funny angle. So this is going to make these kind of sort of I don't know what you would call them, so angled, almost like a beveled edge to the edge of this little display that we're doing here. So we're going to put these right sides together, and we're going to sew. We're going to sew all the way around the top and then the bottom, and then we're going to sew the other sides together as well.
Susie T says, my baby graduated from 8th grade this morning. Oh. Erin, where's 8th grade in the chain of? So it's kind of like the end of primary school, as we would call it here in the UK. Or high school, primary school or middle school would it be more like? End of middle school. Thank you very much, Charlotte. Sometimes part of high school, sometimes not.
Well,
Same
really
here
confusing.
in the UK. So in where I went to school in the southeast, we had primary school and then secondary school, high school. But some areas have primary school, middle school, and a high school. And that's what you have up here apparently. So you'd go from primary school to a middle school for a couple, 2-3 years, and then you'd go off to your secondary school, your high school.
What were your years called? So
primary for me was 1 to 6.
Oh, you see, I didn't have that. So because I'm old, my school, when I went to the secondary school, it was things like we were in 3rd form, lower 4th, upper 5th. It was, so my children find it really confusing.
Yeah.
And my son's at the same school. Well, it was an all-girls school when I was there, and it's an all-boys school for him, but he's in the same actual building as me.
Oh,
and when
wow.
he talks about classroom, and I was like, oh yeah, that was our 5th form common room, and he was like, I don't understand what words you're saying to me, it makes no sense. He said, what do you mean? I was like, well, 5th form would have been equivalent of, I think it's year 11. It's like when you're doing your GCSEs. But it was, and then if I'm talking to any of my American friends, they've got no idea what I'm talking about.
No. Yeah, for me, primary was 1 to 6, and then secondary school was 6 to 11. And then if you went to 6th form, that was years 12 and 13.
Right. Okay.
But I think some people have 1 to 6 primary school, 7 to 9 middle school, and then 11, 12,
Oh, it's really
10, 11, 12,
confusing, isn't
13 in an upper school.
That does make it really difficult if you're moving to different areas.
I wasn't very good when I was at school, and I'm not very good at it now. I'm not there either, it turns out. But congratulations anyway. And Susie says, waiting for the doors to open so we can all go in.
Aww.
Man, it's hot and humid in New Orleans. Already 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is not even 8:30 in the morning. I'm guessing 86 is about, let me go for it, about 31?
It's Scorchio.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
About 31 degrees? Oh, 26. Sorry, I got that wrong. I'm not... Oh, I thought you... Oh, okay. None of us know, essentially. It's 30. There you go. That's right. I'll take that. Boom, shakalaka boom. Shadai says, Prince Joe, for Mother's Day, my son gave me 100 red miniature roses. Yes, I counted them. I'm so superstitious, like odd numbers. Only 99 in the vase because one dropped off by itself. They're still alive and kicking well. Well, that does please me. 100 miniature roses. How lovely is that?
That's nice. I like the idea of having something that's a little bit different, don't you?
Yeah.
Miniature roses. That sounds lovely. So we're going to sew across here. So I've already done those 2 sides. We're going to sew this one here. And then when we get to this part here, we're going to do some Y seams up here.
Yarn seams?
Y seams.
Oh, sorry. I swear I'm getting more and more deaf, you know.
Pardon?
I'm getting more...
Oh, I couldn't resist that. You fell for it. Hee. You're just giving me looks now, aren't you? Angry Joe over there.
Oh, I'm never angry. I'm many things, but never angry.
So just pinning it across here. So obviously, if you were going to be doing this at home, you would make sure that you're pressing all the time. You would be trimming off your loose threads that you've got here. But I'm just rushing through to try and put it together. So if I was going to be giving you a sewing lesson, what is the first thing you want to learn how to make?
Oh.
Are you going to go for a quilt?
I'd like to make a doorstop.
A doorstop? What kind of doorstop? Like my chicken, like a chicken shape?
Not, what was his name? Dickie the Chickie or something?
No idea, I can't remember what I called it.
One of looks like a... one that maybe was in the shape of a dog and made out of Harris tweed, something like that.
Oh, nice. I like that idea. Yeah, definitely. That'll be a good idea to do.
Or a bolster cushion for the spare bed.
I think that's a
bolster
nice
cushion is like in my head, a bolster cushion is like a wide tube. It's like a big tube of cushion that goes on the bed.
It's almost like a draft excluder, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks very regal. We'll definitely have tassels on it as well.
And pom-poms.
I don't think pom-poms. I feel like you've stereotyped me a little bit there, Becky.
Yeah, I've just got a bit of a tangle here.
Oh,
so don't get
your tinsel in a tangle. Very busy on these. Remember what you're getting included then in here. You are getting all 3 of this brand new launch. So you're getting the Kaleidoscope Star, the Wheel of Mystery, and the Hunter Star. Now they are available individually. They're $21.99 or $26.95. However, when you get the 3 together, you are getting a 21% discount. In fact, $51.99 or $64.65. You do have the ability to use your Club Inspired discount, which you're all getting some sort of discount. Of course, on Platinum members, $41.59 or $51.72. is your price there on those. Let me also remind you about the Lucky Dip. Very busy on this at the moment. For each one of these you put into your cart or your basket, you will receive one item. It is a lot of fabric, and the brilliant thing is it's a really great opportunity to stock up on fabrics whilst you can get them for what, a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars each. I mean, it really is fabulous. Here is a selection of some of the awesome things that you could be receiving in here. We do have some tools as well in the Lucky Dips also, so you may get some awesome sewing tools, £2 or $2 there, which is brilliant. Let's go and have a look at the
Fabric of the week.
Oh, brilliant. I love that. I love that you're sorting out a tangled machine and still can do your own sound effects.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Multitask.
You really are multitasking. Was that a bit of casual sexism there? I didn't quite catch what you said.
No.
Okay, brilliant. Right. You've got to keep her in check, this one, honestly. Let's go and have another look at those amazing So Boho fabrics. So this one here is the So Boho. These are your half-metre pieces. Remember, if you're ordering multiples of the half-metres, we will cut them for you in the larger pieces, which is very handy if you're doing larger projects, and is not really the norm these days. You've got the aqua there. You've got the fab florals, the aqua ferns. We also have cerise in the cerise. It's just called Ditsy Dot cerise, and you've got the Ditsy Dots in the marigold as well. Very busy across all of those. So we do also have it in a 6-piece fat quarter bundle if you'd like to go for the fat quarters, if that's your preferred size when it comes to working. You can go for it also in the strip roll, 18 strips there, which is brilliant. Or if you fancied one of each of the half-metres, then we've done a pre-bundled selection for you, which you can go for £28.79 or £28.76. We do also have this, and I think this is probably the most fun item on the whole show today. It is your pom-pom keyring kit. Now, you're making 2 pom-pom keyrings in here, but the other great thing is you've got the pom-pom maker then to be able to make as many pom-poms as you want. How many times can I say pom-pom in one cell? And in here you get absolutely everything. So you get 2 lobster keyrings, you get the coloured yarn, 4 balls of yarn, you're getting the pom-pom tool, the tassel tool, the plastic darning needle, and also the step-by-step instructions. And they're really fantastic. These definitely lots and lots of fun. $5.59 or $7.16 if you want to get your hands on those. How are you getting on over there, Becky?
Yeah, I'm almost done with these corners, so I'm just going to stitch down here, and then you can see how that looks down there. So you can see here where we've got our edges join up. So we've got this little kind of beveled edge on this kind of corner.
What's it called?
A beveled edge, I think.
Beveled?
Beveled edge. So it's like when you've got a mirror and you have, when it goes into the frame, you have like a little angle on it. It's a beveled edge, isn't it? I think that's right.
I think that's right too.
I'm saying it's right. I'm sure it is.
Okay.
So we want to give that a bit of a press. So we're just going to do the other side now. So we're doing it exactly the same way. So we've done the 2 left and right sides. So this is the top and the bottom. So we've got these little pieces here. So we're going to stitch along these 2 pieces here. When we get to that point, we're going to stop, and then we're going to then sort of turn and stitch like so to finish off that little edge over there. So I'm just going to carry on stitching these together.
Mum4Boy says I should learn to sew a gnome, and I can get one to match Sven from yesterday. Less said about Sven, the better, I think, after last night's show.
I didn't see. So what happened?
Well, Debbie popped his fishing rod on the gnome. She just put it in quite an... no, Dave didn't go fishing. It was Sven the fisherman from Sweden that was the problem. Right. He was off fishing. He had a little packed lunch with some semlar and some pickled herring, and he was off down by the river trying to catch some mackerel or something. But his rod was placed in a very unfortunate position. His fishing rod, is all we'll say.
In a position that would make fishing quite tricky.
Quite difficult. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So the less said about Sven, the better, I think.
I'm going to look at the masterclass in a totally different light later on tonight. Yes. That's all going to be about the gnomes, isn't it?
It is. We're going to be seeing those gnomes in there, yes, with Debbie. Yeah, we are going to see the gnomes. It's a credit card masterclass, but yeah, you'll see. Maybe you'll see Sven. Maybe I'll get Debbie to show you just for a chuckle.
We did chuckle a lot last night, didn't we?
We did indeed, yes. Back at the house. Honestly, if your ears were burning, you know why.
Oh, it's so nice when we come down to the house and everybody's there and you sit and you have a little chat, and because we often don't see each other, do we? Unless you're on a show,
No.
You might not see each other for a few weeks, so it's a really great way of sort of catching up with everybody.
I got a note on my car this morning, did I tell you?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, it said, "Dear Mini Driver." I didn't think I looked anything like Mini Driver.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Don't think Charlotte got the joke. Mini Driver was an actress, wasn't she?
I think she still is an actress.
Still is an actress, yeah. But I do drive a Mini, and it said on there. It said apparently I was almost rear-ended this morning. That was the wording he used, and asked me not to park where I'd chosen to park my car. I don't understand how you could. Yeah, he nearly rear-ended me, and then left a note. But
so in other words, he wasn't concentrating when he pulled out his driveway. But I think that's the long and the short of it.
He was only pulling out the driveway opposite. I mean, it was a very. Yeah. I was parked in quite a. I think I was parked quite respectfully.
Yeah.
I might write back one. Dear Mr. Resident at number 2, Mike, I believe his name was actually, because he signed it off. He said, "Please don't park here again. If you need to park, feel free to use just one of the spaces behind my house." So it was very nice of him.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. So we can all move our cars.
Passive-aggressive, maybe. Yeah. Bit passive-aggressive.
It sounds to me like he just thought, "Oh, there's never a car there," and just went zoom, and that's what happened.
How did he go?
Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I didn't realise I had a note on my car until I was halfway up the road to the gym this morning, and then I realised I had this note flapping around on the front. It was quite alarming, really.
Right. Well, hopefully it won't happen tonight.
Well, there's 2 spaces now, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got this piece here. So that's the front of our table mat, for want of a better word. Now, I've also cut some wadding. So I've cut that roughly, I think it's about 18.5 inches here. I'm going to just spray that and adhere it to the back of this. And I've also cut a piece of pink fabric, which I'm going to use for the other side of this table mat. So I'm put this round here. I'm going to lay out my wadding or my batting. And then I'm just going to fold it over so it's roughly in the right place. So I might need to give it a bit of a trim before I sew it all together. So I'm just going to pull that back like so, and then I'm going to use my stick and stay, not my spray and stay. That's the one I used earlier on, which is the adhesive to use for the grip. This is the permanent adhesive. And I'm just going to spray that on here. And then I'll pop that down. And I'm going to give it a little bit of an iron, and that will be what sort of secures that bond. So halfway again.
The name's Bond, permanent bond. That's what you get with this, isn't it? I thought it was funnier than that, Becky, but okay, never mind.
I was just to say, we were watching a little bit of James Bond last night.
We were watching Casino Royale, weren't we, last night?
We were, which is one of my favourite opening scenes. And I was saying, because that's the one with the free running, and it's Sebastian Foucan. And one year I was watching it, and I tweeted about it, about saying it's the best opening scene of a Bond film. And Sebastian Foucan started following me on social media. I was very excited about that. Doesn't take a lot to get me all excited.
I'd never heard of Sebastian Foucan until last night.
But do you recognise him now?
No.
Oh, I think he's been in a couple of... I don't think he was on Strictly, but I think he was on something like that, you know, a kind of celebrity type programme. I'm just trimming off these little corners here, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my piece of pink fabric over the top. So I've got a few pieces around the edges that could do with a bit of a trim. I'm not going to worry too much about that at the moment. So I'm going to pop this over here. So I've put this sort of right sides together, and I'm going to sew all the way around the outside. I'm going to leave a little gap, So I'm going to turn it through and then give it a bit of a trim. And then I can seal up that sewn edge or that open edge. And then that will make a little sort of table mat or that kind of thing. So the idea would be you put a nice great big clear glass vase with your lilies in it. And then you've got this to protect your table underneath. So I'm going to go around and give it a trim and a pin to make sure it's all in the right place, and then stitch around the edge.
Awesome. Any questions you've got, keep getting them in to me. Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion on YouTube. Remember, Sanntangle is coming up a little later in this show too, but very busy across lots of the items there. If you've got Sanntangle items in your basket, please check them out, is what I would urge you to do, because they, well, before everything sells out, essentially. I will give you a reminder on a couple of the items that are looking quite vulnerable in a few minutes' time.
I'm just going to trim the edges here. So I've pinned that all together, and I'm going to trim around the edge here with my rotary cutter.
The ruler, if you want to get that, it's a 6 by 24 inch folding ruler. My producer Erin thinks this is the coolest product we have, this folding ruler.
It is really useful.
What do you love about it, Erin? Just the yeah.
So it just folds up like that. So you can
Fab, isn't it?
You can put it in your handbag. I don't know why you'd need to put a ruler in your handbag.
In case you want to measure something, I guess. I
often have a tape measure in my handbag.
Do you?
Yeah. You never know when I might need to measure something when I'm out. Bit of furniture or something like that.
What do you measure, like your pizza? They say it's a 12-inch pizza. It turns out you think, actually, I think that that might be 11.75. Let me check. Oh, yeah.
No, but sometimes you might be out and you might see, I don't know, like a piece of furniture and you think, my goodness, I love that. Will it fit? And then I have my little trusty tape measure. And, you know, I know that can always measure. You know, there's always an opportunity to measure something when you're out. I'm not looking for reasons to measure things, but sometimes you do. You're looking at me as if you're thinking, oh my God, she's completely nuts. Yeah.
Charlotte loves measuring things, apparently, she's saying as well. What was the last thing you measured, Charlotte? I can't say that, sorry.
So I'm like Charlotte's mum in that I'm always measuring things. Right. There we go. So I've just trimmed around the edge. So I'm going to sew all the way round, apart from this area where I've put a slightly different colour pin, and I've made a little mark round here, just so I know I don't sew around that edge.
Charlotte always gets a bad rep from me, doesn't she? Because it's just, you know, you can't hear her respond. I can control her narrative for you, which is brilliant. She's like my imaginary friend, really, isn't she?
Down here, so we're just going around these little corners.
I'm going to be left in the box if I don't behave, I'm being informed, Becky.
What, are you being cheeky over there?
Yep, always being cheeky.
Do you know when I first came here, people said, watch out for Joe, he's cheeky.
Did they?
Yeah.
They weren't wrong.
No,
they weren't wrong indeed. So the fabric that you've used for the backing of this, could you use anything you wanted, really?
Yeah, you know, if you wanted to do something, you know, if you wanted to protect your table, you know, you wanted to use something that was heat resistant, you could. You'd probably want to use like a heat resistant, well, not necessarily heat resistant, but like water resistant fabric. What you could do is, and we've actually got it on the show, we've got some fabric coat on the show. Now, fabric coat makes things waterproof.
Excellent.
So that would be quite good. You could treat your fabric with a fabric coat to make it waterproof. So if you, for example, had, you know, when you were watering your plants and you had a plant on here, for example, and you wanted to sort of protect your table underneath, you could use your fabric coat on that.
These would make great plant pot stands, because I've made the mistake of not realising that my plant pot I was using, I didn't have a pot in a pot. You know, you're meant to have a plastic pot inside the ceramic pot. I didn't realise that the ceramic pot was really porous, and what it meant was lots of moisture had collected under the pot.
Yeah.
And it's made the window ledge go a bit sort of, what's the word I want to use? Tatty. It's got a bit damp under there, it's got a bit mouldy. So really, these would be brilliant for that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Especially with the fabric coat on.
Yeah. Once I've sewn around the edge, I'll show you how the fabric coat works if we get the opportunity to. So it's very, very simple, but it's great for sort of waterproofing fabric. So perhaps in places where you would have wanted to use some oilcloth or something similar to that, you can use any fabric. So sometimes you can't find the fabric you want in an oilcloth. Maybe you want to make a table covering that is wipeable. The kind of thing that you would have when children are quite young, just to make sure everything keeps nice and clean, so it's easy to wipe all the mess away. You could use perhaps some of the fabrics that we've got on today, some of the boho fabrics, and then you can use the fabric coat on it, and then it would make it waterproof. So I'm just going to turn that round the other way. Someone said to me the other day, this is like birthing a quilt.
Birthing a quilt, wow, but less painful.
Birthing an item, because you're sort of turning it around. It makes it sound like you turn yourself inside out when you give birth, but you know what I mean. That's not quite what I meant. So normally where you've got these points on your corner of your a sort of square cushion, you would have a square point here, but obviously we've got these edges, these beveled edges, so we just need to push those out, but they won't come out as sharp as they would do if it was an actual point.
How fabulous.
So there we go. So all we need to do now is we just would seal up the bottom part, this piece here, which is where I sort of didn't stitch it together so we could turn it inside out. But that's how you get this pot kind of cover. So you can use that for putting as a display, or you can make it into a cushion cover. And this is all using the kaleidoscope star patterns, the templates that we've got on the show today. So this is just one of the examples of the kind of thing that you could make. We've got to remember there's 3 different projects in each one of these packs that you can get.
Absolutely amazing. Right, let me remind you of some of the Sanntangle items that are available for you. So it's the dragonflies and the hearts that come together. We had a really deep stock this morning. It actually sold out before we even got to mention it in Wake Up Call. We have restocked with what we thought was far and away. So 75% of the whole stock, that's half of our restock stock gone already, and we're not even got to the actual show itself. It is very, very busy on this. If you want it, there's a lot of you with this sat in your basket at the moment. You are, I think, going to need to check it out before we actually get to the show. If it sells out, we are still going to share a demonstration on this particular item for you, but it's the dragonflies in here that you're getting. They're so popular at the moment. Imagine being able to incorporate these with your dragonfly collection that we brought to you, and you're getting the hearts in there too, which is brilliant, and of course the book for both of them too, so you're going to be able to create loads of projects using just those. $36.99 or $53.48. You can see the platinum price there on your screen. The other one we've got for you is the Book 5 bundle. Now, Book 5 is amazing. Loads of different projects within here, all in really clear, concise, step-by-step instructions. Lots of inspiration, spaces for you to work in there as well. And what you're then getting is these. Now, these are brilliant. This one comes with a stencil as well, doesn't it, I believe? You've got the circle stencil coming with this. But it enables you to create these 3 different projects here. But also then as well, it will enable you to mix and match those different styles across the different sort of styles that you've got. So you can take elements from each and mix them together. How much this one? 80% of this one. 80% of that one gone. Again, if you all check out, that's not far off gone there. You heard Becky talk about fabric coat, so she's going to show us just quickly how we use that. It's fabulous stuff, this, isn't it? It
is, and unfortunately we're not going to have enough time for it to dry, but we're going to be able to show you how to put it on. So this is what it looks like. So you get these little pots. So I've just put a piece of fabric on one of my rulers because it's easy for me to clean. But ideally, when you're at home, if you use some kind of you get like those, we've got them as our applique sheets that you can use, where it's almost like a silicone covered piece of paper, effectively, and they wash really easily. So you can see this is almost like a kind of viscousy kind of glue, it looks like. So we're just going to put a couple of little dribbles on here. and I'm just using a card. So you could use any kind of card that you might have, a piece of card or a store card, and you just need to push that into the fabric here, and you scrape off the excess and just put it back into the pot. Excuse me. So you just need to scrape off the excess here, and it will last ages. Now what you want to do is you want to do a few layers. So you want to make sure that it's completely saturated, the fabric, because that's what's going to, it's basically going to coat that,
saturated.
completely saturate it, because it wants to coat all those fibres in this. Effectively, it's almost like a kind of plastic that you're putting onto it.
How does it take to dry?
About 20 minutes, the first layer that you do. So 20 minutes to dry it, and then put another layer on in exactly the same way. And by the time you've done about 3 layers, so between the second layer and the third layer, you need to wait sort of 12 or 24 hours, and then put the final layer on, and then just leave it. And you'll find it's really good if you want to use fabric for making little toiletry bags, for example. You don't want, you know, that's, you know, when we get some waterproof fabric, that's really key for those kind of things. Or maybe like a raincoat or a rain hat. I know Brent bought a bucket hat today, and I thought actually this would be really good for a bucket hat, because at least it keeps you, keeps you nice and dry. So that's what you do. So you don't need very much. You start off with quite a big sort of a dollop of it, for want of a better term, and you're just sort of scraping it off, but you're just making sure that it goes straight into that fabric, and scraping off all the excess here. And you're just going to leave that to dry, and then I put another layer on. So if you get the opportunity at the end of the show, I can put another layer on so you can see what I've done there.
Marvellous. If you want to get your hands on it, it's a 3-pack there, and that means, what was that? What are you? You're
I know, I've dropped everything.
Over there.
I know. It was a spray.
If you want to get that, so normally be £15 per pot, but when you buy the 3-pack together, you get for £10 a pot. Essentially, you're buying 2 and getting 1 free, which is rather glorious. $29.98 or $39.90. Let's just take a quick break. There's a lot of bulging baskets over on the website, so we'll give you an opportunity to check those out. And whilst you do that, let's share with you one of our fantastic quick buys.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Put away your tape measure and fabric scissors. The Threader's Fabric Cutter offers accuracy and precision with every cut. This handy tool slices through fabric in a guillotine style. Its ergonomic design features a comfortable and protective handle, so it's safe and easy to use whether you're right or left-handed. Its 45mm rotary blade will cut up to 6 layers of fabric at a time, so your sewing, quilting, and upholstery project times are cut down to size. It's equipped with a measuring guide in metric and imperial for a perfectly accurate cut every time. The built-in grid ruler has 30-degree, 45-degree, and 60-degree angle lines, so you can cut fabric on any angle, including the bias. Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet.
The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing. Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
We do create every single day. My oh my, still very, very busy on those Sanntangle items that are coming up a little later in the show. We now, though, need to go to the... Absolutely, and this week it is the geometric arrows that you are getting here. You've got 25% saving on this, which is brilliant. And the other great thing about it is from Karen Lewis, and it enables you to make these awesome projects here. So you've got a geometric cushion, you've also got the quilt, and you can do the apron. Full instructions included for each one of those projects, which is brilliant. Platinum members, you're looking at $20.99 or $23.97, which is awesome. Right, any questions you've got, get them into me. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are, of course, on YouTube. Remember, we've got another brilliant show coming up later as well. 6 p.m. here in the UK, 1 p.m. East Coast, 10 a.m. West Coast. You will have a masterclass, which will be glorious. Myself and the lovely Debbie Robinson will be here with you. It's all things creator cards, so some of your absolute favourite dies. And we will also have some gnomes, a little sprinkling of gnomage in there as well. So make sure you come and join us both for that too. But it's time for the...
Better block of the week.
Absolutely it is.
I like the sprinkling of gnomage. I like that.
You like a sprinkling of gnomage?
Yeah, I like that. So this is the geometric arrows. So this is using dies. So totally different to the launch that we've had today with those acrylic templates. So this, you do need a die cutting machine. So these are quite small dies actually. So this is the actual design that we've got. So you can see you've got lots of little pieces here to make these sort of pretty patterns. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create sort of this, but not quite, slightly different. This kind of cushion I'm going to do, and I'm going to make a couple of pom-poms to go on the bottom, just for Joe. Just for Joe.
Just for me, thank you.
Just for you. So again, like with the other one, you've got a little booklet in here, and it gives you all the information that you'll need to follow. And so again, it talks about the grain line and how you stack up your pieces of fabric when you put them through the die cutting machine. And then as you work your way through here, you will see you've got all the details of how many of each shape you need to cut, and whether you need to cut the shapes with the fabric pattern facing up or facing down. So that's particularly, it's not important at all if we're going to be just using plain fabrics, because it's not going to make any difference. But obviously that is an issue. Where you've got things like small triangles, you want to have some on the left and some on the right, so you just need to pay attention to that. Ooh. And you'll notice that by you having those asterisks.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
A little bit of a honk there if you heard that at home.
Was that not your, were you not sort of moving like this?
No, I don't have sound effects yet. Charlotte hasn't mastered the sound effects. You need to have a sound effect for the next show, definitely. Yeah, it was a lorry tooting us from the lorry park, I believe, as they so often do. Sometimes
we hear an ice cream van, which is really quite distracting. But apparently it's not, it's a snack wagon.
The snack van?
Yeah, snack van.
Yeah, delicious.
Disappointing. So you've got, as you go through here, you'll get all your details. So when you get to this quilt, this is really a spectacular looking quilt, and you can see it looks quite complicated. Where I said before, sometimes you look at these designs, you think, my goodness, I'm never going to be able to make something like this. But because we've broken it down into those individual blocks, you can see, you can put one of these blocks together, and then once you start adding all these blocks, you get this fantastic design of your quilt here. So we're going to run these through the machine first of all. So I've already pre-cut most of them, but I'll cut a few more just to show you. So let's grab some fabric. I'm going to use some of the So Boho. This is the Ditzy cerise fabric that we've got on the show. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use my Fab Florals just to confuse everybody. So we'll cut off a piece of fabric here. And then we're going to, I'm going to just cut a few pieces with the rectangle that we've got on the show in this pack, and we'll do some squares here as well. So I'm just going to fold these over. So it's nice and quick to run this through the machine. So we'll just do some rectangles. So we're going to use a fabric plate. So we've got our clear plates, we've got our metal plate, we've got our fabric, we've got our die facing down. So these are our multimedia dies, and you can tell that by the colour, because they're like this kind of copper colour. So we're having the die facing down, so the flat part is on the top. You can use a little bit of tape if you want to. You can see I've got little bits of green tape on mine. I tend to use washi tape at home because I can't find my low-tack tape anywhere, but you use low-tack tape if you need to, but we should be fine just using that. So we're putting the other metal fabric plate over the top, and then the clear plate. I'm going to make sure I switch the machine on.
Mum4Boys says, I have this block set. I need to make it. You do, Mum4Boys. You must get it out and create something fabulous.
Okay. Technology flummoxes me, clearly. Just putting that through. So we're just running that through the machine. And then you'll be able to cut your multiple layers of fabric, so you'll be able to cut 6 to 8 layers of fabric with all of these. Now, one thing I would say when you're using this, because it can be quite complicated, if you're going to be working out where the colours are and what how many of each you're going to be cutting out, I wrote against here what colours I was using when I was working this out. I took a copy of this and just wrote out against all of these what fabrics I was using, so I didn't get confused when I was putting it all together. So that would be my top tip for using these. So you can see when we've had them cut out, they're cut beautifully, so obviously you don't have to worry about making sure that you've got everything exactly cut out the way it should be, because you know they're going to be perfect. So you've got these 4 little rectangles here. Now I've already cut quite a lot of my pieces out, and I've already sewn some of them together. So we're going to start by putting everything together now.
Amazing. Joanne Madigan says, hi all, just ordered the Dragonfly stencil, my first fabric order. I'm from the US and I have a room full of fabric, but decided to try the fat quarter bundle. I have a reversible tote pattern that uses 6 fat quarters, so this is going to be absolutely perfect.
Oh, that sounds great. I like that idea. So we're going to be sewing on these little squares first of all. So I'm going to be doing, it's almost like a mosaic pattern that we're going to do. So we're going to sew those together like that. And some more of these. So I really loved these So Boho fabrics, and they go beautifully. These are our Threaders plain fabrics. So I think this one's the coral. We've got some of the ballerina pink, some of the mid pink. We've got all sorts of different shades in here. So you've got lots of different options. So the way we would stitch these together, we're going to start by stitching 2 here and then 2 here. So we're going to effectively chain stitch them. So I'm not going to worry too much about stopping and starting. So I'm going to put these 2 together first of all. And so a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then when I get to the end, I'm just going to take 2 more. And then I'm going to butt those up against the piece that I've just sewn.
So you're overlapping them?
No, you're just sewing, it's called chain stitch. When I've finished doing them, if I just do those 2, you can see that they're sewn together. So if I just cut them apart here, they're going to be sewn together. It's just a quick way. If you're going to be sewing multiple shapes, they're going to be very similar, it's worth doing. Then you could just sew all the sort of 2 pieces together in one go. So for these, because we're going to do 3 at a time, I only want to do two together, and then I've sewn those other 2 together. So then I want to sew, which way round am I doing it? I want to sew this one here, like that. So
any questions you've got, get them into me, Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion on YouTube. I'd love to know if anyone out there has started sewing because of these shows that we're bringing here on Crafters TV. How many paper crafters out there for, either started sewing or come back to sewing after watching these shows?
So I think everyone did a bit of sewing, lots of people did a bit of sewing at school, didn't they? Remember making sort of, bags for your trailers, that kind of thing, like drawstring bags. We made a kite.
What was the first thing you ever made on a sewing machine? Do you remember, Becky?
Clothes for my Cindy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And my mum went, oh, darts aren't very straight in those. And I was about 6. But that's how my mum was very much, that's what she does, she sews. So she would always, even now she still says to me, that's not very neat, that's a bit wonky. So I tend to get my mum to finish things off. So I would sew 3 of these together, and then I would sew them together like so. Put those together like that. And you're just building up these different parts of the block. So if I get the instructions out, I can show you how this comes together. So of all the blocks that we have, this one has a lot of facets to it, I suppose, for want of a better term. So if we look at here, little booklet, where you've got this one block. So you've got these pieces here with a kind of almost like your, I think this is like a Star Trek kind of intercom, Starfleet kind of shape here. So you've got this shape here, and then you've got this shape here with the little, almost looks like a pencil, and then it becomes a little square. And then you've got these sort of checkerboard shapes. So those are the ones that we do. And all of those together makes this one block. So it can be a really interesting thing to do, because what I've done here is I've made all these different sections, but I've not put them together in a block. I've put them together in a long strip instead. So if I show you what I've done so far, I've made these together. So I've got these ones like the little pencils. These ones are like my little Starfleet symbols, and I've put them together in strips. Now I've also put together my little sort of checkerboard shapes as well, so they look like that. And then I was going to do a sort of a run of 3 at the top, like so. So it would look like this, and I'd just carry it on. So you could make all sorts of different things. So this one, I think, of all of the builder blocks, this is possibly one of the most sort of versatile that you can have, because you can use these individual little blocks. You don't have to put everything together to make one whole 12.5-inch block. So I'm going to make one of these sections now, and then I'm going to do one of these as well. And we're going to put everything together in a moment. In a moment. It's only going to take a moment to do.
Okie doke. Mum4 Boy says, me, I started sewing because you all made it look so easy. Oh, amazing. I'd love to know what you've made, Mum4 Boy, since you started sewing.
That's lovely to hear, isn't it? That's great. It's always nice to know that people are sort of enjoying the show and enjoying watching, and it's sort of inspiring. I remember when I watched my first papercraft show, and I was like, what's a die cutting machine? I don't really understand what that is. And then suddenly, you start watching these things and these dies and all sorts of bits and pieces that you've never used before, and think, my goodness, you've sort of created an idea of a whole new craft. A bit like Sanntangle, that kind of that sort of doodling, to create these beautiful things. I always thought the doodling that I did whilst being on the telephone when I was a child, I should have pursued that, because obviously there's more you can do with that.
It's never too late, Becky.
No, exactly. So we've got these 2 rectangle pieces, going to put those together. So these are the Ditzy Cerise and the Ditzy Marigold fabrics. And once again, if you want to chain stitch these, so if you're going to be sewing multiple ones of these, I'd put them all together and sew them all in one fell swoop together. So we're going to give that a little bit of a finger press, like so. And then we will put, I think we're going to go for those colours. I'm going to put the pale colours over here. So we're going to put right sides together again. And as we've said before, because we're using our templates or we're using dies, we've already trimmed off those little dog ears. So where you would normally have a sharp point if you're cutting them by hand or using your shape creator, you would have an exact point at all of those sort of corners. You don't have to worry about that. We've cut those off. And you can see then that actually those shapes here completely match up. So you've got a right angle here, so you know that you're keeping to your 1/4 inch seam allowance and everything's nice and tidy. So sew down here.
When you are using plain fabrics, do plain fabrics have a right side and a wrong side?
No, not, some might, depends on how they've been produced. So sometimes you find that cheaper fabrics might only, rather than being manufactured in the way you'd expect, so these would have been manufactured with the thread, effectively, the thread that you're using to weave the fabric would have been dyed beforehand.
Right.
And then the fabric created. Sometimes you might find fabric that's been dyed afterwards, or even printed to be plain. So it might be white fabric,
right.
That's just had a print over the top, almost like a screen print of a colour. And then you definitely have a right side and a wrong side. So one side might be sort of slightly opaque. You tend to get that with sort of quite cheap fabrics. You've got that kind of difference. We're just going to put 2 more. So we've done 2 triangles on either end here, and we're going to put the other 2 triangles here, and this makes this other little mini block, I suppose.
Mumful Boy says quilt blocks, no final quilt yet, tons of face masks and some of the Christmas felt people, nativities and nutcrackers. Brilliant.
Oh.
Remember when we were all making, well, we, the collective we, not me, myself, but when everyone was making face masks, you remember back at the start of all the multiple lockdowns. Gosh, that feels like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it?
It does, and I remember people putting posts on social media saying, well, I remember a time, you know, I'm putting this on so I remember in the future when, you know, we all stayed at home and everyone wore a face mask and you couldn't go out to buy, you know, you could walk the dog, couldn't you? But you couldn't go out otherwise, you know, and all those sorts of things. And I remember thinking, oh, you know, I don't need to read that. But actually now I'm really looking, I really wish I'd done the same thing, because we're quick to forget, aren't we, how things sort of moved on.
Yeah,
I mean, even going up to, so I travel normally by train, so I travel in London. I've noticed a huge difference in travelling on the tube.
Oh, the
and
last sort of 6 weeks especially,
Yeah.
things have really gotten back to normal.
Yeah.
And I say that because the M62 is now a car park most mornings again.
So we've done that little block. So this one is a little bit like a pencil. And then I'm going to do the final piece, which is this one here, which is this shape that almost looks like a Starfleet emblem, I reckon. So I've got these 2 pieces which I've already cut out. I've got these pieces that go around the edge, and then these as well. So I'm just going to check on this piece, because this one makes perfect sense. You know, you can see exactly how you're going to sew that one together. This one you do need to follow the format of putting that together. So you would start off, you want these 2 pieces like so, and then you've got a piece like that and a piece like that. So we're going to sew these 2 pieces together here first of all, and then we're going to sew these, and then we're going to add the little triangles at the bottom afterwards.
Amazing. Remember, there is more to come today here on Crafter TV. We'll be checking back into Sanntangle again in about 20 minutes time or so. And then a little later after that, of course, a masterclass coming your way a little later in the day, 6 p.m. here in the UK, which is 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 a.m. across on the West Coast. Mary Pat says, my first sewing projects were Barbie clothes and I was self-taught. Then I joined a 4H. What's a 4H?
Oh, somebody called up about, or messaged in about this before. It's, oh gosh, I can't remember. Is it hearts? There's 4 H's and one of them is heart, and it's all to do with a sort of friendship group in America. Lots of people have messaged in the past and said that's how they learnt how to sew, doing these things. It sounds like a great idea. I think we should have something like that in the UK.
Yeah, it does. So then I joined a 4H at 9 years old, where pot holders and an oven mitt were my first projects. My most recent project was a clown costume. Who was wearing the clown costume? That's what we need to know.
Is it a scary clown costume for like Halloween, or, you know, like a, you know?
I don't know. All clowns are scary according to Charlotte.
That's got a special name for it, hasn't it?
I love like an abstract clown, like a Cirque du Soleil style clown.
Well, like more of like a mime kind of clown.
You are. You're a mime. Have you been a mime clown?
No, I said more like a mimey kind of clown.
Oh yes.
No,
I guess so.
I've not been a clown.
I love Cirque du Soleil. I haven't been for years and years and years, but as a kid we used to go and it was absolutely magical, I remember.
I've been to see one show when I was in Vegas, and it was.
Which one was it?
The water one. It was very good. I was quite impressed. It was definitely worth going to watch.
Is there like a massive giant fish tank on the stage?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd had a couple of cocktails, so I don't remember all of the details. It was my birthday.
What cocktails had you had at this point?
But it was my birthday, so you know, I
enough.
had a few little cocktails. You know, maybe a bit
I
of
now
champagne.
I have a no alcohol before the theatre rule now.
Oh, that's
because
probably
I've decided, even if you only have 1 or 2 drinks before the theatre, it definitely affects your focus.
Yeah.
I find my mind wander. Even if I've just had, you know, a glass of wine or a couple of glasses of Prosecco with some dinner beforehand, I can't concentrate in the same way.
I'd be really worried if it wasn't a particularly good performance or something, I might fall asleep. And as we all know, I snore really loudly.
Oh, gosh.
And that would be awful in the theatre, wouldn't it?
I went to see Miriam Margolyes in The Lady in the Van when I was in Australia. And it was day 2 of my arrival in Australia. And at about sort of 6 p.m, 7 p.m. in the evening, the jet lag is so bad, it's like someone's hit you across the head with a frying pan. You know, like you just are completely zonked. And for the entirety, and I was sat in the front row, so she was probably only 8 foot away from me. And the whole performance, you know, and you're having to really strain to keep your eyes open. It was brilliant, but it took so much effort not to fall asleep. It kind of ruined the whole thing. Like, really.
At least you didn't. Because I imagine she would have
been. Imagine she would have absolutely have called me out, wouldn't she?
100% she would have done, wouldn't she? She was. She would have definitely.
It was
said
excellent.
Something. I really like that that book and the play.
Lady in the Van. Yeah.
It's very good.
It was a part that really was written for her, wasn't it? I mean, she very much is.
Well, I thought it was made for Maggie Smith.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually Maggie Smith living in the van outside his house. I mean, there was a real lady in the van.
There was a real lady in the van.
Head, Heart, Hands and Health, it stands for.
I knew there was a heart in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've sewn that piece here. So that is, so we've done one of each of those little blocks. So now I just need to, I haven't completely finished that, that last little one with the checkerboard. But you can see we're going to put that together. So we might have that one there. And then maybe, I don't know which ones we're going to do, which way around. Like that. And then we can put this one at the top here, that one there. And then we would put our little shape of our sort of checkerboard up here. So if I pull that down, you can see how that's going to look like that. Like so, oops, like that. And then you could make that in any kind of shape that you wanted to. So obviously with the design that we've got here, we have taken one of these little checkerboards here, we've put these out and made it into like a kind of star pattern. But there's nothing to stop you from just adopting any kind of design that you might want to do. You might just want to use these checkerboard ones, or might just want to use these. These would be really great for around the edge of a quilt. So there's lots of different options with this one, not just what we've done here. So I'm going to carry on, I'm going to sew these pieces together, and I'm just going to do these 2 pieces for the moment. I'm not going to worry about that one because I haven't quite finished that over there. I'm just going to make a kind of long, almost like a cushion here, and then I'm going to make a few pom-poms to go on it.
Brilliant. Chavixon asks, are the seam allowance always 1/4 inch for a quilt block?
Yes, they are always. Yeah, and I definitely recommend using a foot on your sewing machine which has got 1/4 inch marking on it. My one has a little buffer, so I buff the fabric right up to the edge, and then I know as long as my needle is in the centre position, it's always going to sew a perfect 1/4 inch seam allowance, and that takes the kind of guesswork out of it.
Amazing. Lillian says, my first project was at primary school. I made a patchwork tea cosy. The teacher did not keep an eye on what we were doing, and my tea cosy grew to the gargantuan proportions, probably big enough to cover a catering teapot. I sent it with my mum to give to my grandmother in China. I doubt either of them knew what it was. That's Lillian.
That's crazy. I like that idea of having a huge... I love a cup of tea, so having a really big teapot would be great for me. So I'm going to put... so I've done these 2 strips. I'm just going to sew these 2 strips together now. So I'm just going to put... this is the point where you need to make sure that you're matching everything up. And hopefully, because you're using your 1/4 inch seam allowance, and because you've used your builder block dies, it should mean that everything matches up perfectly. Obviously, when you're doing this, you should be ironing as you go along to make sure that everything is nice and flat, which I haven't done here. I've just been stitching as I go along. But I'm just going to pin those together. And then we're going to do a couple of pom-poms. So in the Sew Boho collection, we have got a pom-pom maker. And it comes with some lobster clasps. and also a tassel maker as well, 4 balls of wool and the little pom-pom maker. So you can use that for all sorts of different things. When I was quite young, I think I was about 7 or 8, when my niece was first born, I wanted to make her something. And so I did a little cross-stitch decoration to go in her room, but I also made some pom-poms to hang from a kind of mobile for her. And I did them all by hand, you know, with a piece of cardboard cut into a circle and then stitched through. And I think, gosh, when I use this pom-pom maker, I wish to heavens that I had one of those at the time, because they do make everything so easy. So I've just stitched along here, and then I will open that out. So ideally, again, give this a bit of a press. But you can see how that's coming together with all those colours of fabric. So I've used a mixture of the So Boho. So you've got your So Boho fabric here. This is the Ferns in Aqua. You've got your Fab Florals here. And then you've got your Ditzy Cerise and your Ditzy Marigold here. Again, with all these plain fabrics. So this is a coral that we've got. I think this one's called mid-pink. This is definitely ballerina pink, but all of those other plain fabrics are available on the website. So that's going to be my cushion front, a cushion cover front. Now I'm going to get my pom-pom maker, and I'm just going to show you how that works as well. So give me 2 seconds, I'll just find where I've put it.
No worries at all. If you want to go for the pom-pom maker, it's available for you. Really awesome. I love these. I think pom-poms are so much fun. I've got so much yarn at home that I'm not doing. I haven't crocheted anything for a year and a half now.
Oh, you see, that's what we talked about before, because I can't crochet.
Oh, I can crochet.
So you can teach me to crochet, and
Yep.
I'll teach you to sew.
Brilliant. That sounds like a plan. I really should start again. I really love it when I do it. But the problem is with me, the crocheting of the stuff and the buying of the crochet stuff, the kits and stuff, are like 2 separate hobbies.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to crochet with, you know, the huge bag of stuff that I already have. I'd want to,
Enjoy
of course,
buying.
crochet with something new. I'd need some new stuff in order to do it. So maybe I'll buy myself a little kit. Anyway, enough about me. The pom-pom keyring kit with 10 elements should be $6.99. It's $5.59 today, from $8.95 down to $7.16. And you're getting everything you need in there to make 2 key rings. I'm guessing you're going to have definitely going to have bits and bobs left over from that as well, Becky.
Oh, you'll have loads and loads of yarn left over, absolutely, totally. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on mine as a tri-coloured one, because why not? And it's quicker. So obviously, if you're just using one piece of yarn, so this is just 2-ply yarn, so it's quite thin. If you're using something like a chunky or an Aran, that would come together much, much quicker. So I'm just going to use these 3 different pieces of yarn here. And then this is your little pom-pom maker. So this is what it looks like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put these together. We're just going to hold them like so. So they don't clip together. You're just holding them together with your hand. So we're going to hold this part here with my hand, and then I'm going to hold the yarn. Oops. Oh, I've got it all organised, and I'm going to hold the yarn here. So that's how I'm doing it. So put my balls of yarn over here. So I've got my little device in my hand, and I'm holding on to this yarn, and then I'm just going to wrap it around. So I might just need to hold on to that
Quite
part.
tightly?
Yeah. And because I'm using three pieces of yarn, it's going to come together much quicker. So if I was doing, I just wanted to do one colour, I'd probably cut a length of yarn and then fold it over a couple of times in order to make the pom-pom. Otherwise, if you're just putting one single piece of yarn through at a time, it's just going to take ages. So I want to make sure I cover the whole of this. So where we want this sort of scoop here, we want that all to be full of yarn. We're doing all this side first of all, and then once we've finished with this side, we're going to swap hands, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Just hold that there. So
amazing.
exactly the
So
same
we're filling
way.
both of those sides up. Sylvia says, I once saw Macbeth at an open-air theatre. You can drink in the auditorium. We may have overindulged in wine and got the giggles really bad. I decided I didn't want Lady Macbeth over for dinner. You can drink in all the auditoriums here, can't you? In the UK, you can always take a drink in with you.
Yeah, I don't tend to. I've been to see Midsummer Night's Dream in the open air theatre in Regent's Park, and that was. I mean, I didn't drink then because I was a teenager and it was a school trip, but it was amazing, and lots of people were there having picnics. And there's something really quite magical about watching something outside. You know, watching some kind of theatre.
That's brilliant, that theatre. I try to go most summer to the open air theatre.
Yeah, I really
cool.
like it. And normally Midsummer Night's Dream happens around about my birthday. So every year I think, oh yeah, I'll go. And I've only been a couple of times. So I filled up my little piece here. So I'm going to fold this over. And I've got these two pieces, or two sort of strings for the beginning and the end of my pom-pom. I'm just going to hold this together. And then we've got these little clips here. We're just going to clip those over to hold everything in place. So now it's not going to move. I'm going to trim these pieces here, so they're a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to cut a length of yarn, that kind of size. And I'm going to use my scissors, oops, right here. And I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut all the way through this, this yarn here. So the first part is a little bit trickier, but then as you go, your scissors are going into this little gap between these two pieces of your pom-pom maker. So you're just snipping around, like so. Ooh, and that little bit there. Probably better to use slightly smaller scissors. And then we're going to do this piece here as well. So just snipping all around. And it looks even, you know, with just these three
Looks
yarns,
like a really
it's
colourful
good.
prawn at that bit when you just do the end bit.
Colourful prawn.
It
The
does.
kind of prawn that you wouldn't want to eat.
No.
So when we get to that point here, we need to secure everything together. So we're using this piece of yarn and we're going to wrap it through the middle of those two pieces of plastic, two pieces of the pom-pom maker. And then I'm going to twist it around to create like a little, go around the edge, almost make a little knot in it to secure it. And we're just going to wrap it around a couple of times to make sure it doesn't fall apart. So this is the bit, you know, when I used to make them at home with cardboard, this is the bit that I would always have to get my mum to help me with. It was always tricky, but it's much easier with this device. Now where you've got your piece of thread that's gone around the edge, and you know, when we swapped over to two different sides, you just need to trim that little piece off as well. Just that. Wrap it around a couple of more times and tighten a knot. And then we will be ready to take off the little pom-pom maker like that. So we just take these little clips, lift those little clips up, and then that will open up your pom-pom maker. Take that apart from one side and then the other. You might need to do a little bit of trimming around the edge to make sure your pom-pom's all nice and the right size. So obviously these are the little bits that we cut off earlier, those little starting and ending pieces. And we give it a bit of a zhuzh, and then you've got your little pom-pom.
How fabulous.
So I've done a few with variegated thread. So these would be, or variegated yarn, these would be, when I finish my cushion cover, I will put these pom-poms onto the corners of my cushions, or you could actually put them all the way around the edge of your cushion anyway. So that's what they would look like.
Brilliant.
Now in your instructions here, it will show you how to make them into a sort of, what's the word? A key ring, and that's just using these three different pom-poms all stacked onto each other, and using the little needle that comes with them. So there's a little plastic needle in them. So you can use those. And you've also got a tassel maker, which shows you how to create tassels as well very, very quickly. So you're just wrapping your thread or your yarn around these. So that works with embroidery yarn as well as, or embroidery thread as well as ordinary wool or yarn like this. And you can make either a 3-inch or a 2-inch tassel to finish off your designs. So it's good.
Brilliant, absolutely amazing. If you want to get hold of that pom-pom kit, you can. Here is the details for it. It is going to make 2 of your key rings. However, What you're also going to be able to do is, you're going to have loads left over. You've got the pom-pom maker and the tassel maker included in there as well, which is brilliant. So you've got everything you need to make 2 there. Do grab that. Let me remind you of the So Boho fabric. It is our
Fabric of the week.
It is indeed, which is this one just here. So you're going to get, you've got options here. If you're going for the half meters, you can order multiples of these half meters and we'll cut them in larger pieces for you. You've got the So Boho. This one here is the Aqua. Then you've also got the Fab Florals. This one here is the Aqua Ferns. We've got the Cerise Ditsy Dots. And you've got the Marigold Ditsy Dots there as well, $4.79 or $5.99. If you want to go for fat quarters, then we've got a selection of those for you. You get one of each of all of the different designs within there, which is brilliant. We also have the fabric strip roll available too, 18 strips within here. Lots of different projects that are designed specifically to use with these strip rolls or jelly rolls, as some of you may call them. And then if you were looking at the half meters, you think, gosh, I'd quite like one of each, then this is what you want to go for, because this is your half meter fabric pieces and you've got a 20% discount on those as well. $28.79 or $28.76 to get your hands on those ones. Right, I need to remind you of this, that launch, of course, the Lynne Goldsworthy templates that you've got here. Absolutely awesome, these. They've been very, very busy. They are available individually. Every one of you going for all 3 of them, though, which is the savvy way to get them. She's got a 20% discount. In here you get the Kaleidoscope try that again. The Kaleidoscope Star. I'll try that again. The Kaleidoscope Star, the Wheel of Mystery, and the Hunter's Star in there as well. So if you've got any of those bits in your basket, don't forget to check them out. Massive thank you, Becky. A pleasure as always. We'll see you back here again soon.
Yeah, a couple of weeks' time.
In a couple of weeks' time. I look forward to it. We will be back on the other side of this with all things Sanntangle. Well, what's left of it anyway.
Quick Buy, all your crafty must-haves in a flash. Take all the hard work out of patchwork with the Gemini Build-A-Block Patchwork System. This innovative collection of multimedia dies allows you to create patchwork blocks with ease and total accuracy. This set includes 18 dies to cut a range of shapes and sizes for patchwork or quilting projects. They can cut multiple layers of fabric at once. They include an accurate 1/4-inch seam allowance, plus all of your pieces are cut exactly the same size every time. Follow your own creative inspiration or look through the 20 patterns laid out in the guide. Not enough? There's an additional 60 patterns online. And right now, we have amazing offers on the Gemini Build-A-Block Patchwork System. Quick Buy, get yours now.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Absolutely, what are you waiting for indeed? Get yourself joined up. Yes, Sylvia says it was Regent's Park. You can take bottles of wine, etc. with you. The atmosphere is magical on a warm summer evening with the wind whispering in the trees. Oh, I love that description of the wind. Mary Pat says, Joe, the clown costume was a very happy clown for my youngest daughter to wear at a Halloween party. My oldest daughter is terrified of clowns. I have no idea why. I suspect it was horror films. There's no good reason to watch horror films. No good can come of horror films as far as I am concerned. Right, it's time to get yourself in a tangle, which isn't usually a good thing, but it is when the lovely Sandra is here. She is back with me. How are you, Sandra?
I'm really good, thank you, really good.
Well,
hello.
I don't know. Can you tap dance? Have you got a party trick? Because I don't think we've got enough stock to last the next hour and a
Play
quarter.
saxophone.
Can you? Have you got it with you?
No.
Can you please bring it? Can you bring it in next time?
Maybe.
I'd love
Really?
I'd love for you to do like the wake up call theme tune on
Oh
the
my goodness me,
saxophone.
yeah. It's been a while. I can get it out. And
All right, well, I'm going to hold you to that. Wait, I'll be texting you the next time.
I might learn
so you know
something
you're on
about
the
an
schedule. I'm going to whiz back through everything we've got. Now, the good news is we did manage to get the Dragonfly bundle back in stock. Yes. The bad news is, how many do we have left, Erin? Over 80% of the stock has gone overall when you combined the stock we had this morning with the stock we've added, and that's well over half of our added stock now gone. I'll quickly take you through what's in here. Sandra's going to give us full explanations on all of this in the show, and even if this sells out, I believe we are still going to demo this, which is brilliant. So you've got your Dragonfly collection in there, your stencil, and then you've also got the hearts as well, which is brilliant. If you went for this in the earlier show, this is going to be what we're going to share with you first. So I know a lot of you were asking, would we be demonstrating this? Yes, we will in the show. Over half of our back in stock has already gone though. $36.99, $53.48, which is brilliant.
Do you want me to demo just the
so definitely
Dragonfly?
get your hands on that. Right, we are going to also share with you the native. That is the next one we're going to have a little look at here. We saw it briefly in the earlier show. It has been very, very busy on this, and I can see why, because it gives you three amazing sort of different things, but all in the same style. And the great thing is about all of Sandra's work is you've got full step-by-step instructions in here, backed up by video tutorials online. There's a community of people sharing ideas as well. All the details of that will be included for you. So you've got the native wolf. You also have the native dreamcatcher, which is this one just here. This one is 40% sold already, this particular bundle, and it has got very, very busy during our softer side show. We had deep stocks of this. The totem, you've got, is it 20 plus characters in the totem?
21 I gave to you in the book, but of course I got carried away. But there's so many more you can do. You can mix and match and create your own. I love that one.
It's an amazing collection,
Oh,
it
I love
really
that one.
is. I think this will again sell out in this show. Right, do grab a hold of that one. The other one I want to tell you about is this one here. This is limited stock. If this is in your basket, you have to check it out because it is going to go. Let me share with you. There is less than 10 of these left in stock, so if you want it, you're going to need to be quick. It's book 5, what it's also coming alongside, and the books, they're all standalone, the books, of course. You know, you can have them as a series and really sort of grow and learn as you progress, or you can use them on their own, but it's also coming with these awesome stencils. You look at those thinking, Joe, they're just a load of circles. You wait until you see what Sandra... I think there's nothing that Sandra can't make out of a set of circles.
Oh,
I mean, everything is just a formation of circles, isn't
so
it?
exciting because it is just circles. When you look and you think, oh, how am I going to do that? But I've given you 3 projects. But of course, my little creative team have done so many other things with it. It's just mind-blowing what you can actually do with them. Once you've got that little bit of confidence, I think, and you can you get to grips with the way they work. Honestly, you'll be blown away with that. It's brilliant. What an investment that was.
Yeah, it really is. And that's a brilliant deal on that. $36.96, $52.13 for Platinum members. What I would say is that is going to go. That will go really soon. In fact, there's more of you with this in your basket than we have stock available. So it's the next 8 people to check out are going to get their hands on that. And how are we doing? Oh, I fear this one's going the same way. This is also limited stock now as well, and this is brilliant. If you are looking to start your tangling journey, this was the starting place for you. So you're going to receive book 1 here as well. Again, we have more of you trying to get hold of this than we have stock available at the moment. So the next few of you that check out will be able to claim yours. In here, you get this. You get the tile pack, which is a real essential. It's the only way to get the tiles on the show today. You are then getting your markers and your... What are they called, Sandra? Don't tell me tantions.
Close.
Tortillons.
Yeah. There you go. See, you've got
Amazing.
it.
Definitely wasn't just fed to me in my ear by Erin. You've also then got the mini project pack here for the Zen buttons, and you are getting stencils as well. You're getting a few more stencils.
You are getting a few more, yeah. We've lost them in transit somewhere. You're going to get triangles, some hexagons, heart shape. Yeah,
Brilliant. So
everything basic that you possibly need. You're going to get little instructions for those as well. So,
excellent. The perfect place to start your tangling journey. £39, 56.74 if you want to get those. That's about to go though. It is about to go. We do have the other books on their own as well for you. We did lose another one of the sort of smaller books a moment ago, but we still have these ones available in stock. £21.99 if you want to go for book number 2. We also have book number 3, which is this one here. Over half gone on book number 3. Over half the stock has gone there. And then also we have book number 4, also half gone on book 4.
Do you know, those tassels in that book are just divine.
Yeah.
I'd have the book just for the tassels alone.
Yeah, the tassels.
You get instructions for how to do that. It's just lovely.
Yeah, it really is cool. Everything is so ridiculously busy from Sanntangle today. I think we're surely going to have the busiest day we've ever had, I think, with Sanntangle today. It's amazing. We are going to go back to that dragonfly. I'm going to remind you, I know lots of you missed out, so if you're tuning in thinking, oh, I really wish I'd have got the dragonfly, it did sell out in the wake-up call. It is back in stock, but you will need to be clear. It is going to sell out again. There's no doubt about that. We will be losing this, I would imagine, in this show. You're getting the dragonflies and you're getting the hearts. And I believe, whilst we've got the good fortune of being able to, Sandra, we should probably kick off with these, don't you think?
I think so, yes. And I want to explain a little bit as to why I've put the heart frame in with the dragonfly. Those of you that follow, you know that the frames work well for lots of different things. You don't have to use it just as a frame. You can use it as like a mandala as well if you want to. But I want to sort of encompass both of them together so you can see why I put the 2 in the bundle. So if you're up for it, if you're ready, let's do it.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
I'm going to start. So I've got both here and I've got the heart frames with me. Now usually in a frame you would only get one stencil, and it'll give you instructions for how to use that. But I like you get 2 different shapes, and I like sometimes this round heart. It works really well with some things, but then other times you want this more contemporary sort of slimmer heart shape, and I think it's nice, so I did put both in. All right, so what on earth do you do with them? Okay, I'm going to move that outside. And there are instructions again on how to actually use them, so don't worry about that. And the idea is that you start with a piece of paper, and what I'm going to do, put it onto the top, and you draw around the areas you want. So I might just want 1 outer frame, I might want to go in 2, or I might a bit more. I might want a smaller one to go on a smaller card. So what I've actually done with this one, and I have pre-drawn this, but I want to show you how, is I've drawn around the top one, and then I've drawn this one and this one. So I've gone 3 lines in, and just on the outer side here, we see where they've got these dots? I've marked those dots on my paper there.
Brilliant.
See? I've done it in pen so you can see exactly where it's going to go, but usually I would do this in pencil lightly, just as a construction line, because then what I would do, and again I'm going to come in with a pen so you can see what I'm doing, is I would join the lines up. There we go. So you've got your full shape. That would be your sort of starting point. I'm just going to sort of work on the half, but of course you would do all of this. There we go. Do you know, I've had so much fun with these, and I know my little creative team has as well. They've absolutely loved working with this. You see, I've put the middle dot in. It doesn't look like it's in the middle, but it is, because that's the middle of the whole thing. So then what I would do is you could either go in freehand, and you could draw in these lines. So see, I'm actually joining the dots there. Or you could bring a straight edge in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work across and join this dot to this one. Like so. See, working my way through the middle, this one to this one, working my way through the middle.
This is very clever. The positioning of the dots is just going to make it so much easier, isn't it?
Okay, so you can see how that's starting to sort of work. You don't want to watch me do the whole thing there, but then you end up with this here. Okay, nice. So I've got all my lines in, I'm all ready to go. So again, now your choice is you can come in with the tangles that I've used in the book. So I'm going to start with, and again, you can make your own up. There's so many things you could do with this.
Could you actually then just treat these like a load of mini tiles?
Exactly, yeah, they're all little spaces. We've split all that space up and made it easy, and we know that the whole section is, if you start here and work your way around, you're going to finish at the, and it's all going to be it's all going to be fine. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to create a line just in this top section here, and then if I work my way around, I'm going to do the same all the way around. Okay,
It's absolutely mesmerising to watch this,
All
isn't
right. Oh, obviously I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do a section of it so you can see how it works. And then on the other side, I'd do the same, but I think I'm going to go this way. I'm going to do like a mirror image. And again, you can use a straight edge if you want to. You really don't have to. You can do a curved line, a wavy line, whatever you want to do. So that would be my first sort of section there. From there, I'm going to bring a line. You see where I've got this line? I'm going to bring it down to sort of about halfway along those. Let's do this one as well. So I'm not measuring, I'm doing all this by eye. There we are. From this one to this one. This one to this one. And there. See how that sort of works? Okay, if I just bring in, I'm just going to bring in my pencil version of that now so you can sort of see it how you would see it when you've drawn it. So there we go, there's our first little sections there. And you see it, if I've missed the line, it doesn't matter so much. Let's do the same on this one. You know, you have so much fun with them as well because every time you use it, you're going to sort of come up with something a little bit different. And it's amazing that the kind of things that you can do. And of course, if you've got your tangly trails that we did the other month, you know, you roll the dice to see which tangle you're going to add in. Who knows what it's going to end. So you see I've done that little line there. Let's then bring in, I don't know, let's go this way. So I'm going to come in and do a line this way now. So that one's going to look a little bit different because it's in there. There we go. And in there. And around. Of course, you do this all the way around. I'm going to do the same on this side. So at the moment, I've just used the construction lines just to create these sort of they're sort of very sort of geometric, aren't they?
From this, when you look at it. I love how it becomes all of these sort of different shapes and dimensions just by putting lines in.
Exactly, and you know, before you know it, you've actually got something that's quite interesting, isn't it? Look how that's all working together there. Maybe I want to add this bit of the heart shape in there. Maybe I'll add this one in. So you can draw bits of the construction line in as and when you need it, if you want to. So let's have a look then. I'm going to put in here, I'm just going to put that line in, and I'm going to create some little lines. This is what we call the tangles. These are the patterns or the basic little doodle kind of shapes that we want to add in there. And I'm not doing anything that's really sort of crazy difficult. Putting lines in. It's really simple, isn't it? You can do that. And then let's have a look in these sort of boxes here. It's going to work with a wave. I think I'm going to put a wave this way. And then a wave that way, and a wave. So you see how each one gets a little bit different. So I'm still using those guidelines that I'd drawn in just to help me work it out and where things are going. So let's do this
It's
way.
really hard to believe it's like a 2D shape. When you look at it,
I know.
your eyes keep falling between it being, you know, 3D.
That's it. And repeat, repeat, repeat. So there's more we can do there as we go in. And see, I've got these little triangles here. Well, I might want to come in and add a little loop in. See, I add them in the middle, and then you can add a loop either side. And a loop either side. And again, you follow the shape. So I'm not looking at anything else. I'm just looking at that small section that I'm working on. It's all about that one little bit. So nothing else matters. It's all about that. We could bring in, if I want to now, I can bring in the rest of the heart shape, or I could leave this and it would disappear. You know, we could rub that out and you've got a jagged edge. But let's bring that in and do a little bit there. And then, of course, let's bring in a different sort of design here. So you see, I'm just bringing little lines in and out, in and out.
That's so cool.
In and out. And then I'll repeat the same sort of thing here. In and out, in and out. So you imagine the amount of different designs that you've got that you could work with here. Maybe I'll do another one there. I might just do it for 2 sides, so I could do it for all 4. So that's almost like a triangle, isn't it? It's just evolving it every time. Starting from the same point and then bringing it out. So you see how it just sort of works its way in there. And then of course we could bring our pencil in, or you know, you bring your coloured pencils in at this point. Let's add a little bit underneath here.
So what does the pencil do for you then, Sandra?
Ah, the pencil. Now, the pen's great for putting the outlines in and giving you, although it does look a bit too, you know, three-dimensional to start with, but the pencil is there to give it a little bit more life, and you want to add some texture and you want to add some depth to it. So maybe I'll even, I'm playing here, so all of them are going to be slightly different. But of course the pencil on its own is quite harsh and hard. We don't really want to see that. This is where that tortillon comes in, this little paper stub. Just really, really tightly rolled up paper, but you see it's been used already for graphite. If you find that it's losing its point, use a nail file and just file it off to a point. It'll clean it off for you and give you that point back. And then the idea is that we come on in and we soften the lines of the pencil. And you see I'm not pressing too much. I'm holding that tortillon a little bit further up than I would a pen or a pencil. And then by adding in, see now watch this, if I soften that there, you see it's travelling across the paper. So we work our way around. And what it's going to do, it's going to make those squares, or diamonds, look as though they're three-dimensional. There we go. So that is how the heart frame would work. So that is just one particular design, but I don't want to draw all the way around it because I want to bring the dragonflies in here. You see, look at the difference that's made now. We could just keep going with it, doing all sorts of things. But yeah, let's bring the dragonfly in. Okay, so here we go. A couple of stencils here. So again, I've numbered them all, so make sure that when you get yours, you have a look at the instructions and you follow the right numbers. Don't just put your own numbers on. Follow the instructions, because otherwise you won't understand them. So we've actually got two different sizes of dragonfly here, depending on what you want to do. We've got some extra little bits and pieces, so let's have a look at this. Now, because I'm on a curve here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a dragonfly on the curve. So coming in with my pencil, and again, don't worry about this, you've got instructions for how to do it on a curve. We've got some body shapes. So this one here looks a little bit like a coffin, I know, but it's a body shape, honestly. And then we've got some little teardroppy shapes. So I'm gonna bring in, let's do one here.
We're getting lots of questions coming in, Sandra.
Yeah, please ask away. I can tangle on questions. Yeah.
I'll do some questions after this, but if you've got any questions for Sandra, then
yeah.
please drop them in now, and we'll do a bit of a Q&A after this demonstration.
Absolutely.
Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, I'm working without instructions at the moment, but please don't worry about that. They are all in there. It's just that I've drawn these a few times now, so it's nice to sort of see. See, I'm working again with the construction lines of that heart shape, and I've got my little body of my dragonfly started there. So let's just give it a little bit of a curved line there. There we go. See, that's the start of the head. And then we want some wings, and this is where these stencils come into their own, because I've not just given you one wing shape for your dragonfly. I've given you 1, 2, 3, 4 different shapes, or 5 different shapes you can mix together.
Fabulous.
So here we go. Let's have a look. I'm going to choose this one here, my number 36. It's just inside the body there. I'm going to draw that one. Now I want to create this on the other side symmetrically. So if I bring my pen in, and I'm going to draw onto the stencil where that body has started. Okay, so it rubs off after, so don't worry. And what I can do, turn it over, and I can line it up again.
That's so clever.
There you go. A little bit different on a curve. Okay, I'll actually bring this one now in pen, so you'll see where that works. There you go. So you see you've got a nice symmetrical pair of wings there. So again, I'm now in charge. See, let's just rub that out. You see, it's gone. It's let's have a look. Maybe I want to use the same one. I quite like that one. So I'm sort of designing my own dragonfly now. It's up to me where I put it and what I do with it. So here we go. I'm going to put this one here. You notice I've actually gone into pen now. So you know, once you sort of got the idea, you know what you're doing. There we go. Let's turn it round again. And then add in, see, I'm just lining that picture up again. There we are. And then here we go, in it comes. All right, so there you go. There's our little sort of wings. Wants a little bit of, now we all worry about legs, don't we? Little insect legs. All right, I've drawn 2 lines. Yeah. If I make this one into a triangle, just make it a bit thicker. And then this one, I'm going to make into a triangle. Make it a bit thicker, a little kick on the end. There's the first leg. Let's go antennae. Again, we could do this one on here. Let's make that a little bit thicker. And then, of course, some of the legs are going to be underneath the wings. So again, maybe you want to sort of do a couple of legs, or maybe you want to leave the legs off. Entirely up to you. Again, little sort of triangles. One side, then the other. There we go. And you see you've got the dragonfly started. So I'm going to bring one in now, and I've done a little bit more to it. I've actually done it in 2 different colours, so you can see which bit's the heart frame and which bit's the dragonfly. So we've got 2 going on here. I've already started a little bit here to sort of tangle in it. This is the fun bit, this is what we want to do. So I'm going to give it a few little dots in there just to give it a little bit of shadow underneath. And work in there, we go. Okay. And then let's have a look. This is entirely up to you now. I'm looking at my instructions here, and this is one that I've got with a key on the bottom. We'll work on it later. But you might think, well, I quite like this particular pattern that's in here. So you don't have to sort of mix. You can do whichever you want to do.
Just a quick public service announcement.
Yep.
The Tangled Art Steampunk with the stencil and the Book 5 bundle has gone. Congratulations if you got your hands on it. We do have a limited amount of Book 5 on its own still available. It really is imperative that you get your baskets checked out. There are only 5 opportunities to get your hands on that starter bundle as well now, so that is also going to sell out. My, we're having a busy day, Sandra.
Do you know, I know, and I've got so many demos prepped. Oh, goodness me, you can imagine they do take a while, but I really want to make sure that when you get these home, you can look back at these YouTube sessions and think, do you know what, I can't remember what she said there, but it's here. I'm trying to give you the education now so you can see where I'm heading. You see, from that random sort of set of lines, I've then drawn around each section. So I've got this sort of lacy effect. So let's put some lines in there and then bring this up and put a little curve on the end.
Isn't it amazing how a tiny little detail like the soften, like the little line on the end of the wing there, completely transforms the way it looks?
Well, look at this one's a pretty good one. Let's go the letter Y. Okay, letter Y, split it up there. Let's add another one, a letter Y. Okay, so then you've got more sections. You know, like we spoke about with the heart frame, you know, like, oh, splitting it up into sections makes it easy to sort of deal with. Then this is exactly the same. You don't have to sort of have the whole wing in one design. You could maybe bring in some lines there, or maybe you'd want to add in, maybe you want to leave one blank, or maybe here we could bring in some little triangle shape. So even if you think, well, do you know what, the designs in the booklet, lovely, but I want to do my own thing, by all means come in and do your own thing. So maybe I'm going to go lines this way on this one. You see how it sort of builds, and you just have fun. You just enjoy filling it with whatever you want to work with. Once we've got them all sort of worked in, this is how it's going to look. Now, I'm not going to claim I've done this one because I haven't. This is our Leslie Elf. There we go. So this is starts. So she's used grey in the background for the heart, and then we've got these wonderful little dragonflies on the outside edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come in with a little bit of pencil here, so no pressure, because it's not yet. And first of all, what we can do, let's add a little bit of pencil into those bubbles. Just like putting a little smile on the side of those little bubbles there. I'm going to do the same with this one. There we go. And then on here, same sort of thing. Now again, this is I love doing this because sometimes people think, I've put the pencil on, now I want to go in with the tortillon. I like to wait until the end and put all the pencil on first, and then sort of do the grand reveal, so to speak. There we go, a bit there, a bit in here, and a little bit here. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this little bit. You see where we've just done those little curves? There we are, and just fill those little sections in. Imagine this in a frame, you know, once it's all done and finished. And of course, there's nothing stopping you coming in with your collars. I did have a demo for later that we were going to use that had got the...
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be hanging around.
No, if I actually show you, so this is one that I've coloured, and you can see it's a different one, but you see I've coloured that using the tri-blends. So there's that little pattern we used earlier,
It's amazing how much the pencil moves around with the tool.
I know, yeah, it's just wonderful. And that's why, you know, with the starter kit, we gave you the tiles because it's the correct paper. Because there's lots of different, it'll work differently on different papers. So if you've got a super smooth paper, you find that your pencil won't travel as far. This is got a little bit of a tooth to it. It's not watercolour, it's our cartridge paper, but it does help you to move it a bit. And there's some of you out there do have your pastel pencils. This is a chalk pencil. I know we've had them on the show before. And what I'm going to do is bring a little bit of white just in those little areas that I don't want to fill. There we go. And just add some more highlight into those. Now I don't tend to blend the white pencil. I like to sort of leave it, and just gives it that little bit of texture again. You know, we're after depth all the time. There we are. A bit in that. Actually, I'm going to put a bit of pencil there too. And there we are. A little bit there. And then let's just bring a little bit in underneath the head there, and then a little bit on the body. See, every time you draw a dragonfly, just imagine, just as nature intended, you're going to create something that looks completely different. So not one is going to be the same. And it's just beautiful, isn't it? There we go. And a little bit of white in there as well. And then of course there's our first little dragonfly done and sorted. And because you might decide that you want to leave the heart frame in the background, so it's got no pencil or no shading in it, or you might want to bring it a little bit more to sort of the front. But there is probably where I'm going to leave that demo, because I think that just looks beautiful as it is. I think probably what Leslie will do is bring in a little bit of a red gel pen maybe, and add a few touches in places. But yeah, there's the look at that. So
Absolutely
whether you want to do that,
it?
or whether you want to go full colour and do that kind of thing, the options are yours. You can mix and match. So I'm not going to do any more on that, because I could spend a whole show on that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you don't have the luxury of the stock either. That's the problem. So remember what you're getting in here then. You're going to get the dragonfly, everything you need to know. The full tutorials are in here from Sandra. You're also getting the stencil there as well. We then also have the hearts too. So you can get both styles of hearts, and of course the full instructions on how to do this. It's all backed up by video tutorials as well. So you really will be able to get these amazing results every single time. £36.99, £53.48 if you want to get those. It is very, very busy across all the, well, I say all the remaining items, there's very few remaining items. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to check out your baskets. It could be one of the last opportunities you get to get your hand on this item. It did sell out. We've restocked it with another substantial amount of stock, and it is going the same way. So whilst you check out your baskets, let's share with you all the details of one of our fabulous quick buys. Take a look.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Still incredibly busy over on the website. Lots of questions coming in, and I will answer some of these for you. Marie was asking, it was from an earlier show, about having a look at the different books and what's in them. We will go through that later in this hour for you, Marie. Should I also know what number of pen you use to tangle on your board?
Oh, on my board, let's have a look. This is probably an 02. I use an 02 or an 03, depending. This is a little bit bigger than the regular tangle boards, because I can make them.
Yes,
I know what I like. But yeah, and of course here is regular pencils, just coloured pencils that have been coloured in. And then once you've done your board, I would use the Crafter's Companion Spray and Shine.
Okay.
And I put a very fine layer on, let it dry, and do another fine layer, and then you can actually work on it, and it's going to stay there.
Amazing.
Okay.
Christine Mahoney would like to know, any plans to bring that fabulous ruler here to Crafts TV?
Oh yeah, there's a bit of a story behind that. I did say to my husband, I need a straight edge if you've got some spare material, and I want to have circles and squares in with the straight edge, so I can use it as and when I want to. So it's actually now known as John's ruler. It's funny. So people do say, yeah, we need John's ruler. And of course, everything that we sort of touch, anything wood, anything fabric, anything paper, tends to be tangled on. Even my shoes, which I've not got on today, but
that's
everything
amazing.
gets. So yeah, that's John's ruler. He'll love that. He'll love it. He'll love it.
Will you be bringing the Tangly Trails? Bernie wants to know.
Oh, absolutely, yes, of course.
What's a Tangly Trail?
Tangly Trails is a booklet. It comes with a dice,
Right.
and each page you've got 20 different patterns on it,
Yeah.
and you roll a 20-sided dice, and whichever number you roll, you have to use that particular number of tangles. So. Yeah, it's amazing. It's so much fun.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
What type of pencils do you use when you're tangling? Evelyn would like to know.
Oh, okay. It depends. If you're going to use, if you're going to draw any regular pencil, so maybe a HB is absolutely fine. If I'm shading with it, my pencils that is in the starter kit, it's it's just between a B and a 2B. When I say B for butter, H for hard in the pencils. That's how I used to tell the kids at school. So yeah, you want something a little bit more soft. You don't want to go with like a 4B. That's way too much. So stick with a B or a 2B pencil, and you'll be fine.
Brilliant. And one more as well. Does the blending, does the tortillon work on coloured pencils or just regular pencils?
It will work on regular pencil, and it will work on pastel pencils. If it's an oily base pencil, it won't work on. If you want to blend your pencils a little bit more, I know you can get blending solutions, and
Yes,
I know
we
you
do
guys
have
do a
it.
blending solution, and it will work with that. What I would say is, if you're going to do that, don't ever put one of these in your blending solution. Put that on a little sponge first, and then just sort of dab this on, and then that'll help to blend. But that won't do pencils on its own. It's just pastels and regular, the 2B pencil that I use.
Brilliant. I hope that helps. Any other questions you've got, keep getting them in. We'll do another one of those before the end of the show. So off the chart busy on the dragonflies and hearts. If they are in your baskets, you're running out of opportunities to grab those. But we're going to look next at these. And they are a collection of native stencils, but they are also so cute. The projects that you're going to get in here are amazing. You've got the native wolf. You have got the native dream catcher in here too, and you're also going to be able to create the native totem. It's got like 20 different creatures in there for you to start getting in a tangle with, which is amazing. £43 or $56 if you want to get your hands on this and change. Under £35, just over $45 for platinum members. Busy on this, or has been throughout the day. We still have some stock left of this. Over 40% has gone already though. It strikes me as a bundle that's going to enable you to create a lot of different things with, Sandra.
Absolutely. Do you know what? You don't want a stencil that's just going to do one thing. You want a stencil that's going to grow with you. It's one of those things that you have a go at and you get it out and you think, okay, I love that. And you put it to one side and do something else and you come back to it and you think, oh, remember this, and you do something entirely different. You're like, my God, why have I left this out? Do you know what? They're lovely. They're really lovely stencils. I'm gonna use the dream catcher. If that's, are you up for that?
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm going to show you a picture of one here actually, because it's just beautiful to see. Now imagine having that on your wall. Actually, saying you drew that on your wall, and you look and you think, no, I can't do that. I'm going to show you how to draw that. Okay. So here we go. Start with a blank piece of paper, which I know scares a lot of people. This is sort of like if you want to, I don't know, it's an A6 kind of card, and here's how your stencil will come. And again, look, my stencil has got numbers on it. So the numbers represent or match what I'm going to do in the instructions. So here we go. I'm going to start with a pencil, and this sort of circle shape here, I'm giving you two sizes of Dreamcatcher here. So I'm going to start with the larger one. You think, how on earth is going to be a Dreamcatcher? Here we go. I'm going to start with a little dot in the middle. And actually, I'm going to put these in pen. And I'm going to mark these little circles here in pen. There we go. So far so good. I've not done anything that's really tricky there. And I'm going to use the side of the design here. And what I'm going to do, very lightly, I'm going to join them together. So sort of about the middle, going through the middle there. I'm going to put, you're not going to see these when it's done, so, keep it light, and then what you'll find is you can rub them out easily. Okay, so I've got that kind of shape. And if we look at my instructions, there we are, we're on step 2, we've done that. So we're now looking at step 3. And again, I've given you two shapes, this one and this one, so you can do any you like. It's going to give you a lot of variation. And it's going to be, let's have a look now. I'm going to line it up. You see, I've used it before, look, I've got my pen on it still. I'm lining it up with one of the dots, and then I've sort of got a mark where I think about the middle of the bottom of that shape is, so lining it up with that line, and then I'm going to draw around it. Okay, so you've got that. So if we turn it around, and again, I'm going to line it all up, one there, and I'm going to draw around it. And then again, same thing. You see now why I've marked that little line on my stencil there? Because I want to make sure each time I've lined it up. Here we go, another one. There we are. And then another one. So you could have turned this stencil around. I could use it the other way and have this little point in the middle if I wanted to. That'll give you a completely different shape. But I'm going to go with the one that you've just sort of seen in the picture there, and work it through. And it's a lovely thing. It's not just for a dream catcher. You could do lots of things with this. You could just use the feathers. Okay, there's my first point of call.
Looks a bit like a lotus flower, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? It's just beautiful, isn't it? So okay, let's give it something to sort of hang from. Now here I've got a straight line, or I've got a curved. So I'm going to bring that curved line in, and there we go. And let's draw this in. Now again, you notice I go straight in with pen as often as I can, but if you want to use pencil to start with. Now it needs a little bit of a little arrowhead at the bottom. Again, you can choose which side you want the arrowhead. There's one. And then on the other side, I want the flange. Is it called the flange? Now what I've done on this one, I've given you a large shape here, so you can actually go as long or as short as you want it to be. So I don't want it to be that long because it's quite a small section there. Just gives you more options, you're the creator here. I'm just giving you something to draw around. So there you go, there's my sort of curved arrow. Let's give this a little bit of a line going up and over the top there. And then let's bring it back out and over. And back out and over. And then let's sort of bring it down, a little bubble maybe. There we go. So you see now it looks like it's sort of hanging over there, which is lovely. So, okay, I'm going to switch
That's
to
so
pencil
cool.
for a minute. And again, I've got 3 different feathers on here, so I think we'll start by putting some feathers in. And of course, if you think that you can turn them, actually got 4. If you turn them over, you've got the other way as well, so you can choose what you want to do. Let's go with this one. I like this one. Now I'm going to do these in pencil, and you'll see why in a minute, because I sort of want to build it up a little bit, and I'm not decided whether my feathers are going to be at the front or at the back yet. So let's just get one in there. See, I've left a gap. That's what I want to do. Let's put another one in. Maybe sort of, let's put one in there, see what happens. And you see why every time this is going to be different, because you've got a plan, but you haven't got a plan. It's sort of, let's see where it leads. There's another one. And let's bring in this one here, maybe slightly at an angle. You know, this is a lot of the fun as well. If you think, oh, I don't really want to put the little doodle shapes and stuff in, maybe you want to just learn to draw. Or maybe you want to just sort of have something that you can colour. And again, imagine actually stitching this, or you know, doing it on fabric or something. So there we go. So another one in there. There we are.
I just love how the stencils make it so easy. You get all the option to have all the creativity, don't you? But you just don't need the skill or you know, to be an artist to put this together.
But the beauty of these is you are the creator. You're using them as a sort of starting point. I mean, look at that little bead now. Let's do that again. So here we go. Got one of my circles here. I'm going to draw around it. There we go. But you see how the sort of stem of the vein of the feather goes up, and let's draw that in. So maybe this one I'm going to just sort of join it. I want to sort of bring a few extra bits and pieces in as well, because we've got these lovely little shapes. Maybe I want to have you know, a droplet in there. Let's do this first. Let's bring in, I've got this row of dots now. I absolutely love using these. I'm going to go straight in with a pen, and I'm going to draw in, I don't know, however many, lovely little beats here. Let's go another 2. Right, row of dots. But then this, love this bit. See, you've got lots of dots in circles here. If I line up one of those dots, say I'm going to go in a smaller circle, maybe at 3 o'clock, and then that one there, and then I'm going to follow around. There we go, all the way around to the 9 o'clock position. You see now I've got this lovely curve.
That's really cool.
And then bring in, I love doing this. Bring in the line, the little dots again. I'm just checking it by eye that it's sort of vertical. Drawing those again. You see now why I did my feathers in pencil? And then if I join them together, there we go. All right. Again, you could use your straight edge of your stencil to sort of do this. Or I could use John's ruler, couldn't I? I've got it here. And then, okay, so let's bring this droplet in that we talked about. Here we go. I'm going to put a droplet there. And then join that. I'm just going to rub out the feather from underneath. I just want to sort of fulfill this little droplet for you. Here we go. So if I bring a pen in, I've got one of my plans here. Okay.
I can't believe how quickly this has come together, Sandra.
It's amazing, isn't it, how quick it does? So let's see if I bring a bit of colour in now. And so I always end up holding 3 or 4 pens in one go. So there we go. There we are. And a little bit of the lighter colour in there. You see now you've got a real nice gem going on in there. Of course I do all that at the end, but you know we've got lots more sort of things to sort of work on. So we can add a few extra ones of those, but let's bring my little sort of feathers in now so you can see where this is going. I might want to add more gems in, but you know we are sort of stuck with time a little bit, aren't we? We've got, there we go. So okay, bringing that in and round and along. So there's one feather. See this one? Let's bring it down. And of course, if you wanted to, you could silhouette the feathers, you know, like we did with the black pen this morning.
That'd be lovely.
And then you could tangle over it in white or a silver or a gold. Here we go. Who'd have thought, was it 10 minutes ago, was it even that this was just a blank piece of paper. So there we go. Of course you take a little bit more care over this. I'm speed sketching, but I'm just following the lines. There we go. I'm adding that little bit in there, of course. Got our other bead, and again you could bring in your stencil to help you do that. There we go, bringing that one in. And these feathers, if you wanted to, you could just have had the arrowhead at the top, and you could just have put some feathers over the top. Actually, do have, there you go. I've got a lovely little demo of that, look. There you go, little straight arrow, and you could have just the really feathers cool. hanging over there. So that's like a great little, yeah, it's all dripping down, it's great. So of course, we want to do something with this now as well. Oh, let's put that in there. So we might decide that we want to colour it in completely. We might want to tangle a few bits. You could colour it and tangle it. It's entirely up to you. Now, if you're going to use pencil, then coloured pencils, I would tangle first and colour over the top. If you're going to use your alcohol markers, you could do it either way. Brilliant. So you could colour first, then tangle. So if I was to perhaps come in and add a couple of little bubbles on there, I can do that. It's not a problem. Go. And where's my little white gel pen there? So you could come in and add some little bubbles. So you see how it can start to sort of build. But let's do something with this, and I'm going to start with where that line was, and dots and dashes. Start in the middle and then work your way either side. Just filling in with little dots and dashes. Now, I do find, and I'm just as bad as everybody else, as you start doing the same thing. So if you find I'm doing lines then dots, turn it round and do it that way. And swap it round. Or start at this side, or start in the middle and break it up a little bit. Random is really difficult, isn't it? So there's just nice ways to get you sort of out of the habit of them all looking the same. We're all guilty of that. We all want to sort of do that. So here we go. So that would be what I would perhaps do all the way around. Maybe want to add some little bubbles in there. Working my way. See if you can just sort of pick on a few. There we go. Just going to do just a couple more of these dots and dashes so you can see where it's headed there. And again, like I'm doing the same again. I'm doing the dash before the dots, and then dash and dots. So let's go upward. Let's break it up and do it upward. Going up, Hank, is very. I don't find that comfortable at all. I find it better to come down, but you know, everybody's different. So if you want to do it the other way, and we did say, didn't we, this morning about going horizontally? Yeah. Oh no, I can't. No, up and down for me is much better than doing it that way. Is really really weird. That just would never be straight. But then again, if you're after doing something that's not straight, you could do it that way. That's fine. Okay. So you see where it starts to build up there, and of course we want to add a few extra bits and pieces in. Almost done with that. There we go. So you see where you could start sort of building that up there.
That looks incredible.
Yeah. And let's bring in, you know, we're around and in with these little bits and pieces. Let's bring some extra little tangles. We did this on the native wolf this morning, didn't we? We made it look like little plants growing up. But this time I'm going to do them sort of hanging down. That's going to go underneath. And another one. And maybe this time I'm going to take it over the top. And again, you can do as much or as little of this as you like. See, I'm going to have that one going underneath. Maybe another one here. And then, of course, you might sort of think, well, okay, I want to have a look at the flower that we did with the wolf this morning. I want to add some of those in. You might find that you want to have a look at what's happening with the totems as well. There's lots of other things to go on. So maybe we'll add some little leaves in, some little bits of flourishes here and there. Maybe bring one in here and add a few, maybe a couple around here. And then of course, you know, you can bring your pen in and you can start adding more colour. There we go. You see how it starts to work? And again, you know, just creating a wonderful little, so use a darker one, gem in the middle there. Okay. Or you could put a completely different tangle in it. Imagine putting a gem in the middle. You know, if it's a card. So you could perhaps do that kind of thing as well. I must admit, I do like colouring with alcohol markers and then going over the top with the pen as well. So maybe we want to add, you know, the little design we had in earlier, we did those little triangles, maybe we could add a few of those. I'm just putting little lines in as I go round. And then a couple of little dots in there. Make like a little galaxy kind of thing in the middle. So there's so many things you could do. Or you could bring in your pencil. Oh, let's put a couple of little lines on there. There we go.
It's absolutely mesmerising. It's my producer Erin keeps saying you almost fall into it. That's how it feels.
Yeah,
as
you
you're
do.
doing it or you're watching it being done.
Yeah. I mean, you have seen the one in the frame. Let's have a look at the frame one. It's, we brought in earlier. There's the frame. And here we go. So we've got extra little bits and pieces on there as well. So we've got the little gems hanging, these extra little, now you know how these little beads are done. But if you want to do it onto a card, here we go, it's the same thing. So there you can see where I've put the extra little lines and dots in. I've coloured some areas. I've done a little gem in the middle. You see I've added a little bit of tangling onto my feathers, a little bit of flowers in there. And then of course your matte and layer as normal. So from a blank piece of paper to actually adding your own little bits and pieces to whether you want to go full frame or whether you actually want to go card, it's entirely up to you. But even those two completely different. So whatever you want to do with it.
Absolutely
it's
amazing.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It
I
really
love
is.
doing that.
And I'm really excited for lots of you starting your tangling journey because the starter kit has sold out.
Oh.
Congratulations if you've got your hands on it. We do have book number 1 for you, which is this one just here. It's a perfect start point for your tangling journey. Lots of different tiles in here. Not many of these left though. Very, very few. If you want it, if it's in your basket, it's time to check it out. It's $18.99 or $27.54. Now, next one is number 2 I want to share with you. Again, all of these follow on brilliantly from each other, but they are all amazing standalone books as well at the same time, and all of them with such clear, concise, step-by-step instructions showing you how to build up these lines to create these amazing tiles. You've got room in here to practice as well. They're a great follow-on from each other, of course. You know, start with 1, work to 2, and work your way through the whole, you know, collection. But if you did want to get one on its own, you know, if there's a certain tile in one of these that speaks to you, then absolutely you could grab any one of them. I've picked a tile out, Sandra.
Oh, okay.
I found my favourite one. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is number 3, just here. 60% gone on book number 3, just here. And again, a gorgeous, gorgeous book. The other one, 4, which I think is my favourite.
Okay.
I'm loving 4.
Okay.
Lots of different designs in here for you. And again, really detailed, and all of them so dimensional, as you can see. Lots going on in each of these. And then also I wanted to share the details with you of book number 5. Limited stock on book number 5. You will need to be quick for that. How are we getting on with those dragonflies, Erin? Are they very, very busy on everything that you're seeing? A limited stock on your dragonfly and heart. I'll just quickly remind you again, because it was a restock, it is now limited stock again. It's about to go. If it's in your basket, then you need to check that out. Now, you said to me, didn't you, I could pick out any tile?
Absolutely, yeah.
I really
and I'm suggesting I've got book 4 here, so you just said you like.
Really love this one.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's have a look at that one then. So it's that the bookmark element, isn't it, almost?
Yeah.
So what
Have I been extra awkward by
No, not at all. Not at all. I've just got to find it.
I just absolutely loved it. It's really, really cool.
All right, give me a second.
Really beautiful
There we go.
one, that.
Yeah, got that.
Got it?
Okay, yeah, got it.
Amazing.
Yeah, just need some
Right.
scissors. All right. First thing, I'm going to cut a tile in half. And that's absolutely fine, because that's what we've done for this.
So I guess then with these, you can do them any size you want. They don't need to be the size in the book, because
Absolutely,
you're
no.
not following anything really, are you? It's just you're giving us instruction to go from point to point.
Yeah, and we actually do stock 3 different size tiles.
Right.
So if you wanted to, we do tiny tiles, which are 5 centimetres square. We do the regular, which you've had today, which is 8.2. And then you've also got macro tiles, which are about just under 15 centimetres.
Oh,
So
right.
here we go. So we've got a line. It's not quite in the middle, but I did guess, but that's okay. And what I would normally do is I'd tape it together, so you've got something to go on there, okay? And the first thing, I'm going to come straight in with a pen. Here we go. I'm going to start, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 dots. 6 dots. So let's have a look at that. So if I actually do 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, see, that's going to go about there. 5, 6, and again, I've got the instructions in front of me, so I'm working on those. Oh, it says there, and that one, and that one, and that. You see the sort of horizontal there. Let's put that one there, and that one there. Okay. So I'm going to nick a bit of tape. Here we are. Let's just tape that together so it stays put. All right, there we go. Same with that one there. All right, now we're in business. There we go. Okay.
Amazing.
All right. Oh, see, I've got to trim that off now. There you go. Job done. All right. So then, okay, instruction number 2 says, right, join this one to this one with a curve. All right. And then this one to this one with a curve. And this to this. And this to this. Now I could actually keep, oh, sorry, going the wrong way around. I could actually keep going and fill the whole thing, but I'm just following exactly what's on here, so you can get the idea of how we do this. To there, and to round there, and along there, and around there. Okay, so again, we could keep going. Now it's okay, right, we need to do a line around them, so I'm going to go around. This is what we call an aura. I'm going to draw around those. All right, so these ones that sort of stick up. And you see we've got a little bit of a dot and not a dot here, so what I'm going to do is fill that space in there. It's a little bit like a teardrop now, isn't it? There we are. And then one here, and one there. Again, same on this side, so I'm going to create that. Let's put that little teardrop shape in first, and then I'm going to draw around it. Fill that in. Same on that one. And then again, around this one.
And then just like that, it becomes 3D. It's almost like Nee said in the comments a moment ago. She said, what did she say here? It's amazing. The magic happens right before my eyes, but I cannot place a finger on where it came from still. It's like 1 second you just look round and then boom, it's bounced off the page at you.
It has. Because you're so focused on drawing single lines or single curves at one time, you don't really know where it's headed or where it's come from because you're so into just drawing that one line. There we go. See, I'm creating that sort of little aura, that outline on the inside as well. There we go. So here at the top, because I've not got space, I'm going further down. I'm going to bring it back on itself and create a little sort of droplet there. You see how that just finishes it nicely? There we are. And I could do the same at the top. Bring that round and along. And the same at the top here, round and along. Okay, and of course you take a little bit more care and a bit more time over that. All right, so this is where we're headed. So let's now bring in our little bit in the middle. So I'm going to do a little line. See how I've come to a little point at the top there. And then the same on this side. And of course, your paper doesn't sit still, so you can turn it round if you feel that this is a little bit tricky to draw. So we've got that. And then in here it says, okay, we've got to do another little shape in here. So I'm now on step 6. So you can see how detailed the instructions are. We've done all this and I'm only on step 6. Now it's giving me 2 options here. I can decide to create a different design inside, or I can sort of thicken up one edge so it looks like it's sort of, there's a hole there. There we go, let's do that one. There we go, little hole there. Okay, just going to join that there. All right, and then our next one, so it starts going in off at all different directions. So coming out here, I'm going to create this little curl. It's almost like I'm going back and to do a little swirl, but then I'm going to bring it back in, create a little point there. And the same here, around and back to create a little point. See, I've gone both ways. So first one way, then the other, and it can be all different sizes. One into this way, around. See how they start as well, going over and under each other. At the moment I'm just working on the outside section there. So just sort of wandering around and creating these little curls. See, I might do a tiny little one there and around here. These make great little bookmarks. I know we don't all read real books anymore, not all of us. We tend to like our electronic devices, but there's nothing like opening the pages, is there, and having something there. There we go. So maybe bring that one in on this side. Okay, and we've also got some little bubbles. Let's bring some bubbles in there. Okay, so just sort of working in and around. There we go, maybe a couple in there. Bubbles are brilliant, you can have them anywhere. They start really, really close together, and then as they sort of get more confident, they start to break out and do other things. So there we go. And then of course we could also add in our little extra flourishes. Let's put a little bobble on the end there and just sort of create those little lines going along. A little bit of a thing there, and then maybe one along here, another one there. Okay, so you see where that's starting to grow. But of course, let's bring that pencil back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add it on these little curves that we started with. There we go. And same on this side. On this side, and then just a little bit in there. And I think maybe I'm going to do, let's go a little bit on the inside. And again, you can make that decision as and when you've drawn it. It's entirely up to you where it goes. There we go. And bring my tortillon in and sort of soften each of those edges. I see I didn't put any pencil there, but that's okay because the tortillon's got loads of graphite on it, so it'll follow through a little bit there, look. You see just how it sort of moves it a little bit along the page. There we go. And along. Same here. And just sort of keep it going.
Where can we find you on socials, Sandra? If people wanted to
you can
look up and get some inspiration from you.
Yeah. Oh well, the videos for every one of these tiles you'll see in book 1-5 are either on. There's a page called Sandra Rushton Artist.
Yeah.
Now please don't message me on that page though, because I was hacked the other week.
Oh yeah, don't message Sandra.
So you can actually go on there and you can still see the videos, but don't message me on that. There is a page called Sandra Rushton. You can get me on, and that's where I've continued the videos. And there's a group page called Sanntangle, so you could have a look on there. And that will give you not just what I do, but what a lot of other people do as well. So yeah, lots of inspiration there. And it's very active. Everybody's very chatty on there, so you can meet like-minded people and have a nice conversation. We do tile swaps as well.
Sorry?
We do tile swaps. So
tile swaps?
Yeah, once a month I'll do a video and I'll show people how to do a particular pattern. So maybe this little swirl that we've done today.
Yeah.
I'll give you little hints onto how you could actually use that particular pattern, and then everybody goes away, does their own little tile, sends it in to myself and Leslie, and we then actually, with a self-addressed envelope, of course, we then swap them and send them back out.
Oh, wow.
So you get little bits of happy post.
I love that.
All over the
Sharon
place.
Likes on YouTube says, I showed my first tile to my husband and he asked if it came pre-printed and did I just do the shading? When I told him no, I started with a blank tile, he shook his head and said, wow, that's amazing.
Oh, that's lovely. It's so nice
isn't
that
it?
sense of achievement when you've done that. Oh, it's lovely. Absolutely. It's just, there you go. You can see it. I've only done part of it down the side because these take, I'd say they take between about 40 minutes and an hour to do, and I've added a little bit of colour on this one here as well, so you can see where it started. And in this one, look, it's got these extra little dots, so you can bring these little dots in on there, and of course it's got some like little faux stitching around it. So again, you know, you can add as much as you like, or you could take bits out, put your own little bits in, but you can see how from scratch there, from a single tile, we've got something that's going to be really beautiful once it's done and finished. Yeah, does that explain that for you? Are
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's
you okay with that?
brilliant. And that's
Look
just
at that.
one tile from
One
one
tile.
of the books. Remember,
Exactly.
we've got all 4, well, we've got actually, I'll just quickly run you back through the books that are available to you. They all work in the same way. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So, start with the first book, which is this one just here. Tiles, Tangles and Techniques. Remember, all of these have got full video tutorials that accompany them as well. $18.99 or $27.54. Was this one particularly low, this one here, Erin? That one's in danger. You'll need to, 80% gone of that one. Then you've also got book number 2. Slightly deeper stock there for you. You've got book number 3. Over 60% gone. Book 4, which is my favourite, over half gone there. And then book 5, and that's limited stock, book 5. So you will need to be quick for that one just there. Right, it's time to do the vote. So what we're going to pop in, Sandra?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't even know where I've put everything now. Hang on a second. Oh, yeah, I can... Yeah. Oh, got them. Go on.
got them?
You start. That's fine. You go first.
Brilliant. This was Becky's from Soft Side. So there's your first one. That is number
That's lovely,
1
isn't it?
there, as you can see. Really lovely that,
Lovely
isn't it?
that.
I might
You
steal
could tangle
if
on
it-
that.
I might steal that if it doesn't win.
Yeah. Imagine tangling on it.
Oh yeah,
You
that'd
could
be
tangle
amazing.
on that. It's already started. So you've already split up the space.
Yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
you just see tangle everywhere, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then, let's see what we're going to put in from Sandra as well. So that's
Okay, so we've got this one that we did first, and this is where we
that.
sort of did part and parcel of it. You've got the heart frame, and then you've got those wonderful dragonflies. And then we've also got this one, which is the that lovely sort of dream catcher. So yeah.
Oh, lovely. So
yeah. So we're going to
2
go.
or 3,
Two,
and
yeah.
then I've just been given this.
What's that? Oh, Bob.
4. You can vote for 4 if you really want
Oh
to.
no, where's that gone?
She looked very impressed with herself as she came in and handed me that. Let's take you back to the dragonflies because I fear this is your last opportunity to get your hands on it. It's limited stock. It's in your basket. You need to check it out. If it's not in your basket yet, it's not too late. Come in, grab it now and check out. Because it's a case of whoever checks out first. What happens is, on the website, say we've got 8 of these left, and there's 20 people with it in your basket, you think, oh, it's fine because I've got it in my basket, therefore it's mine. That's not how it works. It means that someone can swoop along. If you're in the supermarket, you're on the veg aisle, you're squeezing the baguettes on the fresh bread aisle, someone else is going to come along, they're going to take it out of your basket, pop it into their basket, walk to the tills, and it's whoever pays for it first gets it. So if it's in your basket, please check it out. Do you not do that as well? I always do that. All the fresh bread I have to squeeze, see if I can find a warm one.
See, I can't eat bread.
Sorry?
I can't eat bread.
Oh no.
It's
You can
awful.
find a warm loaf in the supermarket.
Yes.
Boom. It's like all you squeezing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, squeezing it
yeah,
to see if it's
yeah.
warm, and then if it's warm, get it home, get some salted butter
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get
Do
it
you want to
done.
see some samples for that?
Sorry?
Do you want to see some
Oh,
samples?
I'd love to, please.
We've
Yeah.
got all these samples, we just haven't had
36.99,
time, it's been a
53,
whirlwind.
48.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know, there's so much to squeeze in, isn't there? I'd love to see some
samples, dragonflies and hearts and everything. Right, okay, here we go. Here's the hearts. Oh, look at this one. Chris has done this one. Absolutely. Look at that. So he's actually used the frame as a whole mandala kind of shape. It's lovely, isn't it? This one. Just going to wing
That is
through them.
gorgeous.
Look at that.
It's very floral.
Okay, yeah, oh, that's different. Yeah, circles, circles. Oh, hang on, circles. Dragonflies. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
So these are literally things you can do. Look, there's the curved one again. Look at that. Love this. Love this.
Really gorgeous.
That's the heart look again. And there, with the dragonfly. Again, look.
That's
Lovely
amazing. That makes my
dragonfly.
eyes go a bit
That's
straight
actually
on.
the circles and the dragonfly all mixed in together. So don't think that you've just got one and it won't. Look at this. This is that Margarita. She loves her sort of larger pieces. But again, there's our dragonfly, and there's the circles. We've got circles in with your dragonfly. So yeah. Oh, there's the original
Really
to that
cool.
one. Look. That's the heart frame.
Wow,
So
look at that.
if you're into your frames, this is the heart. She's used the actual heart shape and then done her own thing. The eye's in book 5, so it's not this one, but if you want to have a go at doing an eye, there's instructions there as well.
Well, you need to be
and then, of course, this is
the
that's the clocks, that's the clocks, that's the clocks. So, yeah. So, you know, don't just think you've got to do, you know, just a frame with these heart shapes. You could do all sorts of things with them, so. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to look again at that native collection as well. A demo of the show was number 3. It was your second one, Sandra, that you did. So that is a demo of the show, the second project you showed us.
Oh, the one with the heart and the dragonfly, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
that's the winner.
That's the winner. Oh, okay.
We'll pop that up onto the shelf. Beautiful sample, says Debbie as well. There was one vote for number 4. I wonder if it was Becky herself that voted for that.
No.
I'm not too sure. We'll see. Let me share with you then these the collection of the native collection. So you've got the native wolf in here. Again, you're able to create. You've got all of the tutorials in here as well as the samples and the stencils. And the stencils making such a difference, because what you get to do is you get that creativity. You don't have to be an artist in order to create any of this stuff. And I love the totem. It's cool. You've got all of those different individual animals in there, which is absolutely excellent. £43, $56.49. Busy on this still in this show too.
Do you want to see samples?
Yes, we'd love.
Oh, I've got samples. Okay. Oh, quite a few. So these are all.
Oh, that was come on. I'm going to have to name a shame. Come on in, you come. You have to tell us what you've done.
Oh dear.
Becky Sworn, come on. Can you come in and
She's
let me
looking
know,
at
please?
popping you through.
I apologise to the lovely people at home. I hit your little sign. What happened there? Because I thought the wall was going to fall down.
I'm so sorry. I bashed a trolley into the wall.
Okay. I mean, I saw my life flash before my eyes.
That was like I was throwing felt at you.
It was. I thought the ceiling was coming down.
I'm not very good at driving.
Okay. I wouldn't worry. She's got to drive 4 hours home, which is not a good idea. Sorry about that, everyone. I mean, Oh, yes, I'd love to see some samples, please.
Okay. They're all mixed. This is all the native mixed together because they work. I mean, look at this one. This is your owl. Not your owl, your wolf. If you always wanted to draw a wolf, it's so cool, isn't it, to draw? And every single one that you draw will be a different character, so that's lovely.
That's
and of
amazing.
course, look, there's our little wolf, just as a little card on its own right. There you go, look. Howling at the moon. The totems are absolutely fantastic. There's so many characters. Look at these. Look at the cat. It's pulling a face there, and the owl's looking down, so you can get some real characters in. And of course, here's another one, little tiny tile that's been mixed up. Look at that beaver at the bottom. It's just divine.
So
and again, you've got
cute.
this little. It's like a little picture, and you can sort of say, "Oh, I know who that is. It's somebody in my family." Another totem. Look at this, just sort of in the colours there and little feathers. It's just wonderful. And each one of these there's like a spiritual version to them. So I think the owl's all about being wise, and the rabbit's the fox is about being cunning. So all those bits of information. Actually, if I show you here, look, there you go. So let's have a look. Deeper awareness for the fish and impulsive for the snake. So all these little hints and tips are in there for you. So there's one. Oh, look at this. This is one of Ree's. Look at the cat's faces are completely different.
Really cute.
Oh, it's just lovely. I think the one at the bottom is not happy because he's been trodden home.
Oh, it's getting squished.
See, there's another one of those wolves. Just beautiful. Of course, you've got the flowers around the outside. The totem again. Imagine that being a wedding party. And you've got all the different characters for the wedding, or maybe it's a group of friends, and you don't have to have them going up back, you can have them going along as well. Then there's that tiny dream catcher. So this is a 6x6 card actually, but I've done a small version of it, so you can have the 2 sizes. But maybe you want to just sort of do the dream catcher bit on its own. See the feathers hanging down there, mat and layer it. That's one of your tiles again. And then here we go. You can actually do the Indian headdress. Actually works well with that as well. So you've got the information to do that. I've given you instructions for how to draw that. That's out of the dream catcher.
Amazing.
And of course, you can add onto your little bits of MDF as well, so you can make different things there. And then of course, you can go a bit like, there's the dream catcher. It looks a bit like a mandala, doesn't it?
Amazing.
So many things you can do, and you just think it's that little stencil. Look at the kind of things you can do. The native set is just beautiful. It really is, and they go so well together. So I just love them. Absolutely love those.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, it's a real large. You can do a lot of stuff, can't you, with those 3 stencil packs? I mean, that's why I think the value there is incredible. Remember what you're getting. You're getting the native wolf. You're also getting the dream catcher, and the totem as well. £43 or $56.49. They are available individually as well. If you want to get them individually, you get a 10% saving when you get them in that configuration. You'll see everything that's available still over on the website. I mean, we are literally down to just like the books and 2 collections, one of which is going to go. So it is getting towards the business end of things today. Yeah. You will be back with us. Now, I believe you're going to come back at 6 p.m, which is 1 p.m, 10 a.m.
All right.
And we'll see how long we can do before everything sort of
Absolutely,
goes
yeah.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for having me. It's been lovely. Thank you for watching, honestly. It's been lovely to have the questions as well, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Yeah,
love doing that.
It's been such an incredibly busy day. It really has been. And then Debbie will be here sometime after 6 with myself. It's 1 p.m. East Coast, 10 a.m. West Coast, and it's a creator card masterclass. So make sure you go over there. There are some brilliant deals on creator cards. It's like it's a master cartload almost, which is brilliant. And we will be seeing the gnomes again. Both varieties maybe, who knows. Make sure you come and you join us for that. If you're not joining me for the last show of the day today, I will be back tomorrow here with you for Play Crafts Right, myself and Craig, 11 a.m. here in the UK, 6 a.m. if you're over on the East Coast. I don't know what the game is this week, do you know? Spot the difference. Oh, I'm usually quite good at that. I think I'm feeling quite confident. But anyway, I'll see you back here in an hour. If I don't see you then, I will see you back here for another full day tomorrow. But make sure you check out your baskets on the last remaining items from Sanntangle because it is all going to go. Bye-bye.